We could,
Yep.
Man, we could fucking charge people.
Do we even know anybody who lives in Japan?
I got a couple of friends that live in Japan.
Like, who listen to us? Or you? You
Yes.
guys?
Yeah. I know them
okay.
personally. I don't know if they interact with my online stuff or not, but I know them personally.
Okay, cool.
Ow, I reached over to press a button on my keyboard and I reached over my candle. And I was like, I'm getting in the right mood.
Wow, that's an actually pretty convincing baby voice.
92.
Is it really 92?
Sockscast 92.
Yep, this is the one. Yep. The magical
So-
number,
I
92.
thought you were talking about the number of viewers for a second. I was like, that doesn't sound right.
That wouldn't work. Yeah, no.
Okay, so that means I gotta add a 3 to that one cover.
Cool. You just wrote Sockscast 9, so now you knew it would be one of those.
Wait, which one was it?
The Danganronpa.
Oh, right. Yeah, that one's really good.
I'm popping Advil because I'm tired and sore.
I don't even want to hear tired from you, John Thayer.
Oh, I'm just so beat. Oh, it's been hard. I'm up for a Sockscast, don't worry.
Well, good.
Oh, man.
This is an easy episode for me because I got nothing to talk about.
Yay! You can talk about work and how much you love work.
Yeah, I should do that.
You got
Woo.
one thing.
I got one thing, but I'm just going to, hold it.
I think, is it Final Fantasy 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want you to skip that because then when you talk about Final Fantasy 13 2 at some point,
Yeah.
we want to have a first step on this
I
journey.
want to talk about Final Fantasy 13, but I don't want to do it in oh man, I'm just gonna fucking slop these words together and hope they make sense. Kind of dude, I'm so out of it right now.
Gotcha.
I'm really out of it. I'm letting you fuckers drive this one.
Oh boy.
My job
All
is,
right.
I'm recording it.
All right, that works. Let's get a good thing going on Twitter.
Plastic Love inspired cover win.
Eventually.
It'll probably happen. Yeah, it's one of those there's probably going to be a Sockscast cover of that, isn't there?
Let me ravish in my really stupid over the top cover for this one.
Yeah, just nobody gets the reference, so it's typical Sayara fashion, really.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
At some point, you got to realize you're kind of just your niche, and that's okay.
Yeah,
It's still good. It's just, hey, I don't get it.
yeah.
I just know that I went taught talk yo.
I went
taught talk yo. That's what it says on the.
I
cover.
went to Tokyo.
I know. I'm just being a dick.
Why are you gonna be a dick?
That's what I do. It's my job.
No bully.
Yeah. Brings the good vibes.
Exactly.
The bully vibes.
The bully vibe. I see our birthday boy is in the chat.
Birthday boy.
Yeah.
Is that
Whose
blowjob, John?
birthday?
So I will sing a birthday song to them. Happy blowjob to you. Happy blowjob to you. Happy blowjob, dear blowjob John. Happy blowjob to you. Yeah. Come on, give it up.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah.
I used playing Final Fantasy 14, so hopefully that,
Got through.
got his mind off of playing a bad MMO.
Distracted into a circle, an AOE circle of doom.
Rhett, thank you for the 21 months subbed. That's almost a year.
You nerd.
Nice.
Huh.
Aw. How glop are you now? Now glop are you now? Is that a song reference?
I don't know. And
I
Tinker
think it's
Gemini.
how old are you now?
Oh!
I've never heard that version.
I've never
Thank
heard
you,
that.
Tinker Gemini, for the 200 bits. I'm gonna stuff all those in my mouth.
Did we get a thing in the chat? In the Discord, rather?
There you go. I think I have Discord open, and I could just paste the whole thing in there if I want, but I'm not going to. I'll just let somebody else do it. That's what I have minions and lapdogs for. That's what I'm in right now, dog.
The Cruise Control podcast.
I can just picture it now. Paul's just like chilling on her chair with like her feet hanging over the keyboard.
I'm laying in my bed. I feel great. I've done the last like 2 or 3 podcasts sitting in the chair, so this is I'm getting back to the basics.
I just found a mild packet of taco sauce from Taco Bell.
I wonder how old that is.
It's probably a day old, seeing as that I had Taco Bell yesterday.
Oh, okay.
You had Taco Bell?
Yeah. I like Crunchwrap Supremes. They're really good.
Okay.
I'm going to drink the sauce.
Go for it.
All right.
That sounds
Here we go. Here we go.
I went there in an emergency and I got the Supreme nachos and I did not care for them.
Mm.
Like the taco. I got a taco.
Mild's not very good. It's kind of watery.
Oh,
and
God.
there's not a lot of spice to it.
I'd imagine something mild wouldn't have very much spice for it.
What? Wait, did you go to Taco Bell and deliberately grab a mild thing, or did they just throw it in your
I think they
thing?
just threw it in the bag because I went to the drive-thru.
Good.
I don't usually put any sauces on anything I get there. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
it's perfect as it is.
The
Why change
notification
it?
sounds are on. The notification sounds are supposed to be on. That way I know people do things.
Yeah, Zach. Come on.
Duh, Zach! Get your head in the game.
Get your head in the game.
Got you better than this.
It's 5 o'clock.
Oh, no, it's 6 o'clock, John. Get in a real time zone for once.
The best time zone.
Exactly.
On Chicago time. Baby.
Oh, man, that's got some nasty
City.
aftertaste to it. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm
pretty
sitting
bad.
here just retching.
Oh,
That is
wow.
awful.
Man, the back end of that is real bad.
Was that to wake you up? What on earth?
Whoa.
Well, now that
so
you're
s-
awake.
That's so stupid.
Oh, that was a terrible decision.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
when you
not-
were doing it, I'm just like, what?
That's
You're
not one
just
that...
chugging the packet?
I just chugged a packet of mild sauce, and it was kind of vinegary and not very good and mostly watery, and now the ass end of it tastes like actual ass end.
Ugh.
I mean, I'll drink a little bit of vinegar. Like if I have the balsamic vinegar in my thing, and I see that in the shelf, and I'm just like, let me get a little sip of that. Just a little sip.
John wants a hit.
Like, I need a hit of that good vinegar stuff.
That good.
I don't listen to John's food recommendations.
No. Well,
Hey,
John
kimchi's
likes
good.
John likes kimchi, so I mean that's one good thing John likes.
That was so nice. I felt very defended there. I was like, yes, this is good. Thank you.
You were waiting. You posted it and you were fishing. You were fishing to get
Oh
shit
yes,
on, though, weren't
it
you?
was a trap. It was a trap to pull out like the swine. But nope. Y'all had good taste.
Except Jet. Jet
Yep.
doesn't have good taste in anything though. He likes Power Rangers and fucking Super Mario Sunshine.
Ugh.
Wait, isn't there like 2 Jets now?
Is there?
Not Jet Storm, different Jet.
Oh, Jet Storm is
Duck.
cool. Jet Storm, he plays all of the good and the bad JRPGs. I don't think Jet Storm plays any other genre.
I have it on good faith that Jet Storm plays some VNs now and again.
Yeah, but
They're very
not good
JRPG
ones.
adjacent.
Not good ones. Wait, did he play Her Lullaby and Afterward? Because if he played those, he played a good visual novel. But if he's only played Fate, he's not played a good visual novel.
Oh, he's only played the first route. He still
If
hasn't played UBW
you want to
yet.
play a good visual novel, you play The House of Fata Morgana. Because that's actually really
I need to
good.
put that on my. Still haven't put that on my list. Let me do that.
All right, see, okay, Jet Storm has played Her Lullaby and Afterward. Ergo, he has
And
played-
after. Holy shit.
Damn.
The whole spectrum.
Somebody, we found them. One of those rare Afterward players.
One of the chosen 6.
One of the chosen 6.
I see.
Is that including you two?
Yep.
Okay, so then 4 are in this call right now, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
No, I know
No.
Sayara didn't.
I didn't. Because her lullaby, I couldn't get through her lullaby without having like the worst anxieties. I was like, I'm gonna have to not play this. Sorry.
Yeah, it's very bad if you've got anxiety issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sayara has a hard time with intensity, horror, conflict, drama.
All that good stuff. That good.
Suffering. That good suffering. Sorry.
good kind of suffering. Yeah. The suffering you go home and you masturbate and think about.
Yeah. Like those dojins you linked me. Some good Love Live content.
The worst kind of Love Live content.
What?
Oh, God.
Like from a week ago, Rhett.
It was when I mentioned that one artist.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, their art is good, but I hate everything else that they do.
The Suffering is a good song.
Yeah, that's a very good song.
That's a very good song.
Man, can you imagine if John actually listened to any album other than Volume 4?
I've listened to almost all the other ones at least once. And then Volume 4 like 50 times at least. It's like my meditation music at work. I put it on and then I can just do my thing.
Man, all right. So hey, guess what?
What?
We are here for a very sleep-deprived Sockscast, episode 92, brought to you, as always, by Moon Pie. Moon Pie, because fuck you, that's why. What do you think?
I like it.
That's for, like, I think that marketing, you kind of want to go a little more aggressive these days. Mm-hmm. You know, with the kids. The Twitter kids will love it.
Hit them with the edge.
Oh, no, for the Twitter kids, you need the memes.
Oh.
So you got to be like, I can has Moon Pie.
Oh, okay. There we go. Boom. There we go. I'm gonna
and then
get that.
There's the guy with the girlfriend, but he's looking back at a moon pie.
I should do all of these and send them to Moon Pie.
Now, I'm sure whatever intro you've got is great, Polly, but there is something we've got to discuss before anything else.
And that would be.
All right. So we had the quiz where everyone.
Oh, God damn it.
Where we got to rank all of Polly's friends, right?
Right.
So I believe, Sayara, you got a 5, so that puts you in a tier 4.
That's pretty knowledgeable. So I made a quiz.
There.
I made a quiz.
Yeah.
With questions about moi, and all you had to do was multiple choice answer them, and this determines who my actual real friends are.
That's true.
That's basically how it works.
So you're a C tier friend, Sayara.
Yes.
Which, you know, C's get degrees.
There you go.
That's pretty good.
C's get degrees.
Rhett got a 7, which puts him firmly in the A tier, so he's a good friend.
7 is more of like B plus.
Uh-huh. I think it's A tier. I think like Chelsea's in there. Like Rhett and Chelsea, that's A tier friend, right?
Well, Chelsea gets to be A tier no matter what.
Exactly. And then what's higher than a 7 though?
Well, I do believe that there is a number that comes after 7 that is an 8.
I think that's an 8. I think that would be
that's A territory right there.
No,
dude, don't act so fucking high and mighty with an 8. You didn't get like 10 out of 10.
No. Look, Rhett. If I'd gone into a 9 or 10, then it would have started getting a little uncomfortable.
You know why? Okay, I have two issues with that quiz. Yeah. The first is that you're also going to be playing fucking Metroid and Contra till the day you die.
You're not wrong.
So that one was bullshit. And the first article on socksmakepleplesexy.net, I was like, well, this question is wrong because Ninja Cop and Cheetahman aren't on here.
Those happened way before. Those happened in 2003, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh no, I'm the super OG friend who remembers before Socks Make People Sexy.
Yeah,
the correct answer isn't on here. So I just guessed and was wrong, and I was like fuck.
I'm giving Rhett 9. I'm giving Rhett 9 for that. So,
yeah.
John, you just got dumpstered. How does it feel?
Oh.
I'm just saying, I scored, like, I feel like the 8 is just perfect, because any higher than that, it's like, I know everything about you, Polly Senpai, and then...
Oh, I'm already used to that from Rhett. I'm already used to that, don't worry. I'm used to those 3 a.m. calls of just breathing, and you can hear a slight, just some slight skin contact in the background. You're not quite sure what that might be, but it's there, and it's a little disconcerting, but you humor him because you're afraid he might kill you if you don't.
Jesus.
I'm feeling
Hi, Polly.
To my immediate virtual
very
right,
impressed.
9F6935FE. That is my Phantasy Star Online Dreamcast access key. It's Rhett!
Oh my god. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
I've subscribed to you for 21 months in a row. Do you love me now?
I'll always love you, Rhett. You want to ride the roller coaster? Yeah. How does that make you feel?
You make me feel very good.
All right, this podcast is over.
We're done.
We're done.
I had to counter.
Nice having you on here.
You've got your creepy voice, so I had to counter with my creepy voice.
Do I have a creepy voice?
You have
I don't think so.
No, I
Just my regular voice is okay. It's good. It's
like
good.
maybe when you're being giddy about people being literally murdered. That's a little weird.
Oh, actually, yeah. What's the
That boyfriend, like when he's talking about
that's
boyfriend to death,
Strayed. When you talk
So,
about
like,
Strayed.
little
like
horny and it's a little weird and you can tell.
Just like the flushed, you can hear the flushed cheeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the slight, and
that
the
was an episode, a very special
That
episode.
was it was like the first time John had ever exhibited public horniness. And it
Yeah,
was
we'll
very
never be on
awkward.
public streams.
awkward. I thought it was lovely.
To my immediate virtual left, he's so omniscient that if there were to be two omniscients, he would be both. It's John Thayer.
Hi.
How's it going?
That was a weird one.
It's
Polly.
a Devin Townsend Ziltoid reference.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, only two people are gonna get that reference. So, how's it going, John?
I'm doing real well. I got my hot chocolate. I'm very worn out and sleepy.
Oh,
but
poor
I'm still
you.
excited to do the good podcast.
Poor you. You've had it so rough these last 13 days.
I know, it's been hard. I had to go to Canada.
Had to go to Canada and
I was
relax.
gonna relax once I got there, but
Just, yeah, you just had it so hard. I feel for you. If you need to take it easy this episode, we'll understand.
oh, don't
okay?
worry. I'll be sure to talk to you. I still have lots of good stuff to talk about. Don't
Oh,
worry.
what a trooper!
There you go.
What a trooper!
If there's one thing that can get me through the darkness, it's the sound of my own voice.
You're not fucking wrong, though. Oh, it's like you are the only narcissist I can stand.
I can appreciate that.
And we have a special guest.
It's because I actually am that great, so it's not obnoxious.
We have a special guest this episode. You might know him as a Sockscast artist, professional migraine haver, and bitch. It's Sayara.
Hi.
Hey.
I gotta find that picture now that I posted that last time I was called a bitch for like 10 minutes straight. I'm sure I still have it somewhere.
You probably do. So, bitch, how's it going?
It's going. It's going. I had an easy day for once out of like the last 110 hours of straight days of work. Not straight days of work, but like straight shifts.
Hey, I feel you. I feel you, believe me.
Oh, I know.
I know
I
you
still
do.
appreciate it. I still am glad you put them through there.
Yeah, John's right there with you. Those trips to Canada to just eat warm food with your grandma, just those will really take it out of you.
I took a day off too, so it could be a 3-day weekend.
Oh man, how did you manage, John? How are you even here right now?
But it was like a 2-hour flight and then a 2-hour drive
No. No.
there, and then a 2-hour flight and 2-hour drive back.
No.
Oh, God.
No. God. Poor thing.
I found the picture.
There you go. No. So you're here for... How do we want to handle this? Because you're here for various...
I don't know.
Because, Sayara, you don't play video games. Or you don't play video games that are actually worth talking about.
You don't have to be that rude about it.
I do, because it's the only thing I have.
So rude.
So how do you want to handle this? You want to just like blast through it all in one go, or do you want to kind of like space it out and then throw it to one of these two ding dongs?
You know, I didn't even think about that.
Wow, good preparation. Way to be,
I know, right?
way to be on a podcast.
Look, man, the last time I've been on a podcast was like what, last year and a half or something.
Probably.
So I'm out of practice. I don't normally have like times where I'm sitting and talking about stuff in like such long amounts of time or whatever.
Okay.
Because most of the time, whenever everyone like calls or talks or whatever, I'm just like faded out because everyone else is talking about something else, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still in this call, whatever.
You're just there improving your social link. You're just there for the star.
Yeah. I get to see my name glow every once in a while because it's like, yeah, he said something. Or oh no, that's
right. Social. I did
it. If life was like an RPG, my social stat would be like -10, permanently -10, with a 0% chance of going up by like any percentage.
You level up and it just continues to go down.
It's just like, yeah, you leveled up. You get +10 durability, +5 speed, -5 communication skills. Like, what? No, I need those. It's gonna get to the point that I'm just not gonna be able to talk at all. I'll just have to talk with like my mind or something.
Talk with your butt. Everybody likes that.
No.
Just walk into the room farting.
Yeah, just walk into the room, farting all over the place. Don't even care.
The only thing you communicate is please go away.
Yeah.
Please give me space.
Give me space.
The Hanjo of social linking. Basically so. But yeah, I came back from Japan about 21 days ago. Yeah, 21 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really? It's 11 days ago, wasn't it?
No, I came back on the 11th. I was back in Baltimore on the 11th because it was like an overnight flight.
Mm.
Then I went to work the right day after.
Jesus. I remember you posted when it was the 8th here. You're like, okay, time to go home. And then you didn't get home till like 3 days later. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, so it's actually not ultimately our fault, but we had problems along the way getting back home this time, which kind of sucks. So the normal thing that we did last year and this year was we first started in Tokyo, or we started at LA. We spent like a day in LA to, recuperate from the initial like jet run, because we went with, last year was my first time. So my friend was like, look, let's spend a day in California after the first flight, see how you handle flying, because that was literally my first time flying ever.
Oh.
So he was like, let's do it like that, and we'll see how it goes next year. So last year, landed in California, was nauseous for the entire first day. I was just like, I feel like garbage, and I like passed out for a couple hours, and we're like, yeah, maybe I should do things better when it comes to like actually flying, because I didn't have any snacks to munch on, I didn't have any water, because I was like too nervous the entire time. I was just like, I never flew before, I'm scared. I'm scared of heights, even though I'm like 6'2". But this time we went with his cousin as well, and it was also his first time doing this, like the traveling from here to another country. So he did the same thing, and we did it one way. We did it the same way back. So it's like one day California, Tokyo, Osaka, then back to LA, and then home. When we were in Osaka, the plane that we needed to get to from Osaka to Tokyo was at like some ridiculous hour in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we planned it like, okay, we'll be up by like 2, 3 in the morning. We'll get ready. We'll leave. We'll head over to the airport, and then we'll be square. We'll go and do everything like we're supposed to, and we'll make it home on time.
Easy peasy.
Subways didn't work at 4 in the morning.
Uh-oh.
And there was no notification or any kind of information saying that the subways are going in different directions at 4 in the morning versus 6 in the morning. So we ended up going in the wrong direction. And we're just like, something doesn't seem right. So we get out, and we're figuring out like, where are we going? What do we do to get back on time? So I had my phone turned on like the international data thing because I didn't want to have to sit there and bother with Wi-Fi and like, oh, I gotta get a Wi-Fi card and all this stuff. I was like, fuck that. I'll just pay the $10 or whatever a day to use my phone wherever. Because it's, in case of an emergency like this where something stupid goes wrong.
Yeah, like where you very much need a thing right now.
Yeah, so we're sitting there, we're trying to figure out where the heck we're going. My friend is like trying to figure everything out at like a billion different things at the same time, trying to think like, how are we going to get back? How are we going to catch this plane? And worst case scenario, how am I going to be able to get another plane back home and still make it for like, everyone to get back home on time, whatever. For them, it didn't matter as much, but me, I had to work the next day. So it was just like, we kind of need to get this shit figured out. So long story short, we ended up taking like 3 different other trains and got even more lost because every single train is like completely backwards in like the twilight hours. And so we just get fed up and we ended up back at like the major hub of like Osaka stations. And I'll tell you more about the Osaka station later because it's really awesome. But like, he said, let me sit down for a second. I need to think. And so we sit by like a Starbucks because it wasn't open yet, and he's just thinking. He's like trying to build a train of thought. Then he thought about it. He's like, "Wait, what the fuck? The bullet train." So we ended up taking the bullet train from Osaka all the way back to Tokyo. Still made it on time for the Japan train back to LA, and made it back without any other problem.
Holy crap! What an adventure just to get to that point and to actually make it.
Yeah, it was like, wait, shit, there's a fucking bullet train. So we took the bullet train back, which was a lot more comfortable than the plane because, like,
I can imagine.
The plane is like, one of those basic kind of planes where it's like, here's a plane. It's got chairs and that's about it. It's cramped. It's like very restrictive.
Yeah.
I am also 6'2". I understand planes being a thing.
Yeah, we had to like plan all of our seats to have like the emergency exit seats so that we would have the longer legroom. Which on the
oh, that makes all the difference.
The extended flights like from here from LA to Tokyo, the plane we used last year charged us extra money to get those seats.
Fuck.
This one was just like, yeah, if you're okay with being an emergency seat, you can, have the extra legroom. So it's like that previous plane was just like, yeah, you can use the emergency thing, still have to do the emergency situations in case something goes wrong, and pay for it. So we're just like, fuck that airline, so we haven't been back to them since.
Just getting home is quite the trip. I wasn't expecting to start the story at the end, but it's a good show. It's a good show starter.
I mean, that was probably like the most chaotic and like intense thing that happened throughout the entire trip. Besides, like, lugging around luggage and running around, getting lost in subways and everything else like that.
And you had. I hope you had somebody fluent in the language with you.
Nope.
Oh, that's even. Oh my God.
Oops.
That's
so
even worse.
the problem is we were both trying to learn Japanese at least enough that we can have basic conversational skills with people. Neither of us were able to be very successful in doing so. I knew a little bit more because I have, anime on my back to give you a reference point to certain things. The one time that I'm actually going to say that anime is helpful is when it comes to trying to have a basic conversation with people. That's about it.
Very basic. And even then, the Japanese that you hear in anime is not traditional conversational.
Very not so.
No.
Very not traditional at all.
No.
But there are certain things that they say, not like the dialect or whatever, but like these certain words that I understand what they are, and I can, bullshit a sentence out of it.
So runs around and ends every sentence with Zura.
I did not. Not a single Zora
I bet he did.
was uttered. Not a single Zora was uttered that entire time in Japan. But luckily, I guess not so luckily, if you stay within like more city touristy kind of areas like Tokyo and Osaka, there are, you know, multi-language signs everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like they have Korean, they have Chinese, Mandarin, they have English, and then they have Japanese, and then they have like the Romanized Japanese, where it's like they take each of the characters and, you know,
spell them out,
pronounce it out. Yeah, so it's like you have multiple ways to actually try to read something. So
I need to go to that Shinkansen. I need to get to that Shinkansen over there.
That is Shinkansen. I need to go to Shinkansen.
That was my experience in Hong Kong, where just everything was in English, so it was very easy to get around still.
It's nice, but at the same time, I kind of still regret not being able to
not speaking the language.
Yeah.
It's definitely like, it's not as intimidating as it might have been, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago or so.
Yeah.
You can go there with very little grasp on the language, and as long as you stay in like the major kind of metropolitan areas, you're probably going to be okay.
Even,
just, you
start
the
touristy kind of out areas.
Yeah.
Still have a little bit of English, enough that you can like find your way.
Yeah.
So that was good. Like a week ago, I said I'd have like pictures up,
and I don't see any.
Yeah, so Imager has like failed hardcore. I tried like 3 or 4 times to upload the pictures that I could like share properly, and it has yet to upload any of them. And I'm like, what are you doing to me, Imager? I need these pictures up so the world can see all of my adventures.
Imager, yeah. I was like, Imager? Oh! I get it.
Imager? Isn't it Imager?
That's what it has to be, seeing as that the word is image. It's not going to be this dumb GIF bullshit where it's Imager. If it's Imager, I'm going to punch somebody in the face.
Imager!
It's actually I'm Gur.
I'm Gur. That's me when it's pronounced that way. I'm Gur.
Oh, hey, Gur. How you doing?
Hey, girl.
I'm just going to continue not saying it out loud ever.
But
that's the best thing to do.
That website is being a pain, so I'm gonna try again, or I might just have to upload every single image individually to freaking get the Twitter has some pictures already, but like more of the scenery kind of things and the food pictures.
Yeah, there you go. Try Flickr.
I had to make a Flickr account.
Oh, you poor baby.
I mean, I've never used Flickr before. That's what I mean.
Oh, you poor baby.
You can put them on Tumblr.
There you go. They'll all be flagged as porn.
As long as it's not porn, I'm probably good.
No, dog, it'll be a picture. It'll be a picture of the sky, and it'll still be flagged as porn.
Hey, that cloud looks like a dick. Censored. Oh wait, no, it looks like a female presenting nipples. Censored. You know, speaking of Tumblr, I finally got an email from them saying that I had images that are banned on their site.
They finally figured it out.
And I'm like, oh, what exactly did they ban from like the 10 years that I've used fucking Tumblr?
Mm-hmm.
A doodle of a lady was like a naked lady, but I colored over later and like blue and like did all this crazy like color glazing bullshit on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that got censored in my entire Tumblr, despite all the like saucy lewd junk that I had on there from before. That's the only thing that got blocked. And I'm like, are you sure you're doing this right, Tumblr? Because I'm pretty sure that based on your like standard, I have a lot more stuff on here that's probably not safe for work.
Like looks like my special blog is still up.
Your special blog.
This one seems like it really does not go against their current prerogatives, but whatever, that's fine.
Their current prerogatives are probably, oh God, stop the bleeding. We're dying as a website.
they're basically done.
Yeah, it's over. It's just. I mean, if it's still around by the end of the year, I'll be surprised.
Tragedy.
The tragedy.
Mm.
Anyway,
We made it through.
images. The images. It seems like 90% of the pictures that I have are like selfie images, which I'm not gonna share, if only because it's not just me in the pictures, so that's kind of like not fair to them.
Yeah.
Or food.
Food is good.
Yeah, I didn't get to do as much scenic, like looking at things that's not just food or city areas, which is a shame, but he did that. We planned it that way, if only to make sure that the cousin wasn't also just alienated.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, I want to go see these temples. I want to see this this forest. I want to see all this other stuff that's not just anime.
Yeah.
Because the anime is the least good thing in Japan.
Yeah, when people go there and only want to go that route, it's just it is such a waste.
It's you could do all this stuff back at home.
There is so much culture there to absorb that, if you go there and you were just going for fucking Akihabara and bullshit like that, dog, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm feeling called out in a weird way.
Yeah, that would be Rhett's entire portion of our trip is let's go look at anime titties.
Once you do explore a little bit, if you explore off the beaten path, you'll end up liking stuff a lot more than you would have imagined.
Mm-hmm.
Last year we went to what was called the Imperial Gardens, which is the garden and moat area that covers the Imperial Castle for Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And of course in February nothing had bloomed yet, so it was everything is still budding and everything, but just walking around in that area, the complete silence, but yet you can look in the distance, look up, and you can see fucking skyscrapers all around you, and yet you're in this this little quiet haven where there's nothing but anything. It's just god damn, this is freaking amazing. It's strangely surreal, and that was probably the best thing that I enjoyed from last year's trip. Is all of these dichotomies of Japan being this crazy super techno land, but yet here we are in
But also here's this shrine that's really tucked away in the middle of nowhere, but you still look over your shoulder and see techno megalopolis behind you.
Yeah, it's like with the Imperial Garden, you're in the middle of one of the biggest Japanese government districts, a bunch of buildings, basically you look like Washington D.C., but Japan, and it's just wow, this is still almost the same thing that I'm used to, but yet it's so different. It's amazing. This year though, we went to an area called Nara in Osaka. And that's where they have a temple that holds the largest Buddha statue in Japan.
Yo.
And my friend is wanted to go for a spiritual kind of trip.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go because I like looking at temples. I like the aesthetic and the artwork that usually gets involved with temples.
Mm-hmm.
And goddamn, that Buddha was huge.
Big old Buddha.
It was huge, and it was mind blowing. The idea that this giant sculpture was crafted with whatever kind of tools that they had at the time to make the damn thing, and it's just whew, Lord, it was something to behold. I didn't take any pictures because you could have taken pictures of the Buddha, but it just didn't seem right.
That feels weird to me. I wouldn't go into somebody's spiritual temple and be the one pulling out a camera. That would feel very weird to me.
It's you don't often see people take pictures of the crucifix or whatever if you're in a Christian church or whatever. But it's just wow, this is fantastic. Yeah, I love it. It was really, really nice.
Yeah.
And I think if I do go again next year, he wants to go to Kyoto, which is more of that traditional traditional Japanesey kind of area.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be nice to see again, like that kind of stuff. Also, Nara has deer, lots and lots of deer.
Cool.
And in that area, they have deer that like will just walk around everywhere around you.
They're just kind of like a part of the place. It's not like you see a deer here. It's like, oh god, there's a deer in my yard, and that's fucking weird.
It's like, don't hit my car. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but there is just like, yo, check it out. There's deer, come to hang out.
And so they have like people all around selling little deer biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
You get like 7 biscuits for like 150 yen, which is like close to like $1 something.
Yeah.
And so the deer will come up to you, know that you have the crackers, and start like picking at your bags and at your pockets, trying to find them. And it's like, okay, hold on. So you look at them and you bow at them, and they bow back at you.
That's
and then you
baller.
give them the biscuit. But these stupid deer, they got so smart about it. Once they realize that there's people around that like they have biscuits in their toys or whatever, they'll walk up to you and start bowing at you while walking at you.
Damn, they are ready.
It's like, feed me. And I'm like, okay, there, hold on.
God damn, the begging for food game is on point.
They are so on point with that. And they know they're going to get it because there's so many people who go to see the temple in the first place. So it's like, these guys are fed all year long.
That's really cool.
And some of them were pretty fat. Like, they were just laying there. It's like,
I'm done.
When the deer is fat.
Can you just bring it to me, please?
Basically, it's like, I don't feel like getting up.
Man, I'm bowing. I know you can't tell, but I seriously am.
Yeah, it's like, I nod my head a little bit. That's good enough, right? I just want to eat.
Just give me that biscuit. Give me that
just
sweet,
wanna
juicy
eat
biscuit.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
That's really good.
The deer have tamed the humans. Yes, that's basically it. That and pigeons. Pigeons want to eat all the time around you too. Like they'll just like get all up in your grill and like want food.
Pigeons will fucking poop on you if you don't feed them.
It's like fuck off, pigeon. These biscuits aren't for you. It's for
you
the deer.
gave fucking biscuit to the deer. Give me a goddamn biscuit. I'm shitting in your mouth.
they like wait for the deer to drop a crumb and they like go after it. I'm like, you guys are fucking ridiculous.
Y'all are savages.
But yeah, I would say that was probably like the major highlight of the trip this year was that.
Was being assaulted for biscuits.
Assaulted for biscuits, and then seeing the temple, and then seeing like that area.
The giant Buddha.
And the train ride to it was pretty dreamy too, because it's like you're on a train going through like rural Japan, like the mountains and the forests and all that kind of stuff. It's like, this is really cool, and I like this.
And then you play an anime insert song, and then it's sunset, and you're in a Shinkai movie.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that works too. There was plenty of anime stuff too. Like, we did that too, because part of it is like, yeah, we can go without it, but you also do want to go through all the Japan
it's
stuff.
still it's a legitimate hobby. It's not the only reason you're there. You can still indulge, but don't let that be the only reason.
Yeah. The stuff is similar but different in a lot of things, and like that kind of like anime culture kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One, my friend who lives in Japan now, I met him through PSO2, told me that people don't really cosplay unless it's like a specific cosplay event.
Yeah.
Because like one of the big myths were people cosplay all the time. You see gothic Lolitas all over the place, and they're all dressed up and all pretty. We didn't see any at all.
Yeah, like that's not super common.
It's like not a thing that happens at all.
It's like the cosplay, they go all out, and it is for specific events.
Yeah, which none were happening when we were there. I don't think there was any way. Yeah, no, there wasn't anything going on. I think it happened like after we left that they had like the next Comic Cat or something.
Yeah, it's about time for that. Red will let us know when all the dojins come out. That's how I know when a Comic Cat's happened, is when Rhett's DMing
It's
me.
not Comic Cat, because summer would be in August, and then winter is in December. So I think there was something, but it wasn't Comic Cat.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, we got Rhett DMing me at 3 a.m. Yo, check out these titties.
The titties!
I just browsed the library of Rhett likes. That's how I get my fair share.
That's your pinned tweet, Rhett. You've asked for
I
that.
know.
It's like, I wonder what's new in the library this week. What else do I want to say about Japan? Well, food is good.
Yeah, of course.
I had a lot of food. And yet, people are saying I lost weight. And I'm like, how the hell do I lose weight when I'm surrounded by food, like, 24/7?
That would be, like, my big... Like, my food budget for Japan is gonna have to be fucking stupid. Because I plan on devouring the entire country.
I actually spent more money on food this year than, like, actual merchandise that I brought back home.
That would likely be me.
Cool.
Like it was a straight up ridiculous, but also so goddamn good.
Like, my first grade teacher brought in a whole spread of Japanese food, and that's where my interest in the culture began. And ever since then, it was just like, yes, Japan is like a goal for me. So, like, all the way back to first grade.
That's really sweet.
You're just saying that so it's not like, oh yeah, I started with anime like everybody else.
No, totally not.
Or video
Miss,
games.
I wanna
Miss
go to
Daniels,
Hinamizawa.
I will name the goddamn teacher if I have to.
Aww.
Miss
Teacher will be
Daniels.
remembered.
Miss Daniels was my first grade teacher. She was awesome. She was half Japanese, and towards the end of the school year, she brought in a whole spread of Japanese food for all of us to try, and I thought it was great. And that was where, and I even did many reports throughout school and stuff on Japan and stuff. So, fuck with me, Rhett. Fuck with me.
I wasn't saying the story was false.
Nah,
But I'm
motherfucker.
like,
I see what you're trying to
picturing you
do.
being like,
You're trying. You think
"Where's
that
this
you think you can
Nintendo
expose
company
me.
from?"
You think you can expose me on my motherfucking podcast. That's what you think you do. It's a fucking power play. You're trying to take over. I'm telling you to set the fuck down, chump. It ain't happening.
Rhett only exposes himself on the podcast.
Exactly.
6-year-old Polly is just like, I call it the Famicom.
Dude.
I like Japan because that's where Konami games come from.
Thank you both for the subs. And yes, this was a birthday podcast just for you, Ballas.
Even though you're a tier E poly friend.
Why you gotta call him out like that? That's fucked up.
On his birthday! Oh, poor
It's fine,
blowjob,
it's fine.
Sean.
This doesn't quite compare, to the A and S rank friends, but that's okay.
Look, I'm a C rank friend, but I still know that that's just rude as hell.
There
to
you
be
go.
just like blasting
Okay,
that shit
whatever.
now.
Oh, that's nice. The C rank friends don't. Your opinions don't really matter to me all that much.
Ooh.
So, what do you say? We pass it and then come back to Japan for a round 2.
All right, let's
That
go.
sound good?
That sounds good.
All right, pass it to somebody except me because I ain't got nothing to talk about.
So, John Thayer.
You're passing
though
it
it's
to the
rude.
most rude motherfucker.
Even though
on
I was rude, I still got rewarded.
Wow!
Look,
That's
because
the John
Welcome
way.
to America.
Yes,
He
This
falls
is
up.
America.
I will never change, and everything will still work out for me.
Oh no.
All right, so all right, what's y'all's experience with Sword Art Online?
Oh no. I
Yeah.
said that thinking
The
he's
episodes
not
of it
gonna
and
talk
just dumped
about.
it.
Yeah, of course. I want to know what's y'all's how did it become a meme in the circle? What did you touch that made you realize, oh god, this is garbage?
Oh,
hate
here
this.
it comes. I've seen 3
Right.
episodes and I
All right.
said, this is garbage. Who would willingly watch this crap? And then people told me how much more gross it gets.
Oh boy, oh man.
After
Right.
5 is out. He's done.
Eat that ashna.
Rhett, how about you?
Okay, honestly, I was never interested in the show. I didn't pay it much mind. And then when it was airing, everyone was like freaking out like about how much they hated the second half of it. And that's about it. And I was like, okay, that's not on my radar. And then somehow people hated it, and it was simultaneously super popular.
Yeah, it's
so it was real annoying.
It's like number 3 on Mal's like most popular.
Yeah, it's like y'all. Everybody hates this show, and y'all can't stop watching. What the hell?
Taylor,
it starts off shitty and ends rapey.
That's pretty. That's a pretty good description.
See, I had no idea, like John, how gross it apparently gets, and I still kind of don't want to know.
Well, John Dyer's he's gonna clue you in.
All right, the first thing. Yeah, Taylor says the first half is bad too. That is something that needs to be said. So I hated the show. Just really, really. I didn't... Oh, boy.
You hated this show and watched 25 episodes of it to prove to yourself that you hated it.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to... It was a moment of standing up against the Big Brother group thing.
You just wanted to get to the tentacle scene to say it was hot.
This is like... You know what this reminds me of? When all your friends with good opinions, like me and Polly, were like, you can skip Final Fantasy VIII. It's not very good. And then you were like, no, I'm going to play it. And then you were like, yeah, it's not very good.
Yeah, that's great, right?
Yeah, weird. It's like that happened again for some weird reason. It's like maybe there's some consistency.
Yeah, except y'all also told me not to watch Fate. And this seems like... And Polly specifically said, I pretty much think of Sword Art Online and Fate as the same thing. So I was like, well, this is real popular. Maybe there's something to this. I had nothing.
There's a place I don't want to go with this, so just maybe move on.
That's fine. That's fine. All right, so the first thing. It gets gross, but it's really important to understand that on top of being gross, it's also not fun to watch and incompetently made, just across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first season is... I don't actually have a lot of talking points. This is the main one. This is a big one. The first arc ends... There's 100 floors to the video game dungeon they're stuck in, and then they get to floor 75, and they fight a hard boss, and then a guy walks in, reveals himself as having been the main boss the whole time, and then says, why don't you try fighting me now? If you win now, then I'll let everyone free. If not, then I'll await you on floor 100 as the final boss of this game. And it doesn't feel at all like the climax. It's just like, oh, okay, so now he's going to curb stomp Kirito, and then it'll be that'll set the stakes for the second half of this arc, where they're building up to doing the real fight. And then Kirito just wins. He just beats him.
That's a running theme.
Every single Kirito they establish rules, and then Kirito breaks them, and then he wins by breaking the rules every time. Ugh.
Hearing you talk about this reminds me of that scene about halfway through Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood where they first meet Father, and he basically like brushes them off like worthless, and rightfully so. Instead, like, what if they had just won and ended it right there? Like, how bad that would have been.
It would have been real bad. That's like the same thing. Like, that part has its own problems because then they just he just brushes them off, and then it's like, well, now what? And then the second half is boring, but like it just ends. So the big difference with this and other shows is that other power fantasies for teenage nerd boys, is that there's no build-up. He's just good. He's just perfect and good at everything all the time
and gets all the pussy.
He 6 episodes of the first arc are just... He meets a girl, and the girl falls in love with him, and then he leaves.
Immediately!
He gets laid in, the 3rd episode or something, and it's just alright, so he's really good, he beats all the bosses, all the girls love him, he's having lots of sex, he gets married, has a kid, 10 episodes in, I guess, a virtual baby.
The virtual baby is After Five's favorite character.
Oh, she loves him too. Everything's perfect. And then he fights the boss, and then he beats the boss and wins. The boss kills him, and then he just wills himself back to life. He's he gets stabbed, he dies, and then he's like, no, and then he comes back to life and kills the boss, and that's it. And then he wakes up. That's what happens. the boss just kills him, and then he's like, no, not. It's like Undine and Undertale, but like with no emotions to it. It's just he's that instead of it being like she's has all these feelings. And that's what it is. It's just he's just too cool to die. I guess he's too badass.
Fucking hell!
It's so bad. And then the second arc, the whole second arc is an evil businessman rapist locks his wife in a bird cage at the top of another virtual video game. So he has to he's immediately really good at it. He carried over all his skills from the first game, except for his signature dual wielding skill. He can't do that anymore.
Oh, dang.
I know.
He probably just does it anyways.
So then he has to get really good at the game. Everyone loves him immediately. All the girls love him immediately. The main romance, the main thing in the second arc is that his sister's in love with him. And she just spends the whole second arc pining after him. And then there's a really hard fight, and then he just starts dual wielding.
So he does just start using it.
They don't explain it. They don't refer to it. The show is just like, well, I can't use that signature skill anymore, so I'm going to have to make do with my other skills. Never mind. I'll just do it. He just does it. There's no rules. It's Calvin Ball. It's bullshit. There's no stakes. Oh, I hate it. And then the wife, briefly escapes on her own. And I'm like, all right, feminist win. She doesn't need to wait for the man to rescue her.
Oh, no. I know where this is going.
And then she gets imperiled by tentacles and immediately brought back to the birdcage to await Kirito's rescue.
And she falls in love with him, too.
Oh, I mean, this is his wife now. They are married.
Oh.
Yeah, they get married in the first arc.
Oh, right. Okay.
They get married 10 episodes in. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, all right. It's like, oh. So I'm not very invested in this romance.
Me and Red are getting married on PSO next week.
Okay.
It's okay.
Good shit. Congratulations.
The climax is the evil rapist just locks up Kirito for the briefest of moments. He can't do anything and assaults his wife in front of him. But then he wills himself out of the escapes. He just breaks the rules and does it. He logs into the admin console and breaks all the rules. And then he just the rapist guy is completely powerless against him. And then Kirito just systematically dismembers him. Just oh, you have imperiled, you stole my possession from me. Now I will pick you apart piece by piece. Just the most, you stole my thing. Now you will suffer. Now I will torture you for it. It's so gross. It's so transparent.
Ugh, that's real fucking gross.
Yeah, he's just it's the most it's so transparent about what it's doing, about the kind of how it's treating the wife, how it's treating Asuna. Yeah. Is just so basic, like a 60s movie or something. It doesn't feel real how completely straightforward it is about just treating Asuna as the thing that is being fought over, one by a man who we hate and one by us. And now we get to kill the evil man so that we can have our thing back.
Mm-hmm.
And then the show ends with, well, now we're going back to Sword Art Online so we can beat the game for real and get to top floor 100. Just oh, okay.
Okay, weird diversion, but let's do it.
Guess we're gonna go finish the first arc now. After you stopped it.
This author is the hackest of fucking hacks. I swear to God.
It's garbage. It's so bad. It's
Didn't I see some quote for him where he was just I don't know, everybody seems to love the way I write my female characters. They say they're so strong, and it just comes natural to me.
Yep, because I linked it.
Yeah, that's a quote. That's a quote. Everyone loves my female characters because they're so strong. I don't know how I do it. I must just be a genius. I don't try.
Oh.
Yep, that's strong female characterization. It's so good.
Stuck in a cage and attacked by tentacles. Yep. Strong woman.
Oh, it's just lousy. There is nothing. Because I really can't emphasize this enough. the action is terrible because there's no rules.
Yeah, it's A2.
no stakes.
It's A2 Pictures. They are known for very bad action.
Yeah, it sucks. On a writing level, like the only thing that's nice is that like some of the like I remember I was just talking with Chelsea, like how some of the animation is nice, some of the characters are expressive in a neat way, and some of the music's good because it's that one composer that did Monica and all that, Garden of Sinners, all that jazz.
And the Xenoblade, what's the one? Xenosaga 2 cutscenes.
Yeah,
that's how I'm trying to get Polly to remember.
Yeah, Xenosaga 2
yeah,
and 3.
it's the same composer and director as Erased, which is hilarious to me. Like, okay, if y'all get material that isn't complete garbage, you can do some good stuff, I think.
Yeah.
So that show is just complete trash. I really hate it.
I'm really glad we get to keep doing the podcast.
Yeah,
Polly issued a threat.
Yeah, if John was gonna make any of the dumb claims that he makes about Fate, about Sword Art Online, that's it. I was going to fucking end the podcast because there's no way I'm putting a podcast out with that kind of messaging in it. Fuck, no way. And I'm not lying either. The second he would have given Sword Art Online any kind of positive spin or some kind of, oh, it's so warm and lovely and nice. Nah, that'd have been it. I would have fucking canned the stream then and there, unannounced, hung up the call, and not said a word. That would have been it.
So, when does the Glop side chapter factor in?
I don't know. Like I said, they bone. Like, I haven't boned in the real world yet. So probably.
Oh, I think it's probably. Oh no, yeah.
That's probably in season 2.
They boned in the game.
They boned in the game. That's where that's where 2 years of Glop comes from.
Because
I think that's probably where they do it in the real world. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't want to think about this actually.
2 years of Glop is probably him being in the game for two years because he's in a coma.
What are the words we're saying right now?
The Glop is his cum.
I know, but I haven't. I try not to think about it.
This may be the worst conversation we've ever had on this podcast.
Yeah, it really is.
So just to be clear, I was concerned that maybe this was just sort of a meme thing, like, oh, Sword Art Online is terrible because it has this bad erotica in the novel from however many years ago. Let's take a look. Maybe it'll be bad, but that's okay.
Let's wallow in the trash and see what happens.
And you know what? It was fine. I've come out the other end. I have a stronger grasp of. I have a stronger appreciation for stories that I like, and I know better about what I don't want to do making my own stories now. This was very valuable. This was a valuable experience for me. I'm okay having gone through this.
The weird thing about this show, again, and I don't know much about it besides what you've said, is how, like, on the one side it's very bad. On the other side, it also, like, completely kickstarted the isekai genre.
I know!
Which dominates anime right now. And it's such a weird starting point.
Maybe everyone watched Sao and was like, I can do better.
I can do better.
That's literally the impression that I get.
And yet they were all right.
Yeah.
Yup.
Because even at their worst, they're still better than the source material.
Yup. I really want to watch ReZero, because just listening on that one, it sounds like it does more of the Fate thing where this guy starts off
starts from zero.
Yeah, he starts sucking and then slowly becomes the best guy ever that you want to suck off, and it's great.
Yeah. So that's what I hated about the slime show.
Yeah.
Is that he gets super powerful in the first episode, and I'm like, wait, no, you guys are doing the arc wrong.
Yeah.
But
I don't gel with that.
Isn't the slime show liked? Like, it's a popular show?
Yeah, I hear nice things about it, but that doesn't mean anything as we've asserted.
Yeah, because Sword Art Online, shitty as it is, definitely has a fan base.
Oh man.
And they're very vocal.
I've managed to avoid them, I think, pretty nice, which I'm comfy with.
They're not 12 years old anymore, so maybe they don't talk about it so much.
That's a good point.
God. Shady Show. Rhett.
Oh, boy.
What have you been up to?
So, I guess I mentioned this last time. I had just finished Trails in the Sky, first chapter, and I was taking a week off work.
Mm-hmm.
So, very bad timing with Polly doing her marathon of work. I was like, oh, I'm off this week. I am relaxing.
Let me DM you every 2 hours to let you know how much I'm relaxing and
how many
you're not.
good video games I'm
The
playing.
big relax.
The big relax.
So this is probably I had a lot of time and I played a lot of video games, and I would say this is probably the strongest string of games I've ever brought to a Sockscast.
Oh shit.
Oh damn.
So just in the last 2 weeks or so, here's what I did. I played Wander Song,
That's a very good video game.
and then I followed that up with 428 Shibuya Scramble.
I haven't played it yet, but I'm gonna, and I know it's good.
And then towards the end of my vacation, a little game called Sekiro Shadows Die Twice came out.
Oh.
And then I was like, I want a game that isn't going to make me want to die, so I picked up the puzzle game Baba Is You.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Man,
So I've been up to some stuff.
You've been doing some shit.
good string.
So I'm not going to talk about Sekiro because that's the one that's like,
Where if I
It's
talk
gonna
about it, I'll
take a
literally have a
while.
stroke.
it makes me mad. It's very, very hard. And
Do you feel it's hard for the wrong reasons? Do you feel that
I
at this
really
point,
kind of started to think of that last night, where
Do you-
it's just like,
do you feel at this point that From Software is kind of just like bought so much into their own bullshit that they can't make an original idea anymore, and that like
this
difficulty
game
is the
totally
point?
newer. I said I wasn't going to talk about
I'm
this
gonna
game.
make you do it anyway because it's
Oh.
fresh. That's the thing. I want to poke at that wound a little bit.
Big relax is over.
Big relax is over.
I think the time on the deflect could be a little bit longer, because I was fighting an enemy last night where it's like he does this cool stylish, my katana is sheathed, and then in an instant I've hit you.
Is he in a blue robe?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I
think
know.
so.
I know who you're fighting.
And it's just like, I see him flash, I hit the button, and he's already hit me, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I am hitting the button like as fast as I possibly can, and it's just not enough. And I did eventually get by him, and I did learn the timing. You basically have to do it before he swings.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I think that the deflect stuff is a little bit rougher than I'm used to in a From Software game. I've heard the difficulty in that game is weird though, where it's really hard up front and then valleys, and then gets really, really hard at the very end.
Sounds great.
I have that game installed, but I think I just want to play
Oh.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, there's a lot in this that feels like it kind of evolves from Bloodborne. Like the whole prosthetic arm thing is very similar to some of the tools you get in Bloodborne later on.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna play that one first, just because I've got it and I know I like it and I want to finish it, get closure on it.
I have Bloodborne too.
Yay!
My
There's a
copy
Bloodborne
doesn't
2?
work.
I was about to say the same thing.
It's so good. It's so good. I spent an entire month being mad and then just like and sending the game away because it was just like, fine, I don't want to fucking play it. It's stupid. I hate this thing. And then I finally get around to wanting to install it again. And it's like, oh, the disc just doesn't read anymore, but all of my other PS4 games do. Okay, it's just the game.
This is accidentally calling somebody out, but I don't know who it is, so it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, when you gave that copy away, maybe if somebody who wanted to play it took it,
Yeah.
then they would have seen, oh, this copy's just bust.
Yeah. Way to go, person that I'm
Instead
not
of
going to name, but you
sending-
know who you are. Initials DS.
Oh, no.
Whoops. Sorry.
I'm not going to think about that. So there will be more Sekiro talk because I'm going to keep picking away at that game for the next year.
I'll be sure to make a Sekiro podcast cover
Because
in like 10 years.
I'm at a new boss now where it's like he has two forms, and then the third form just one-shots me, and I'm like, well, fuck this. I know it's...
Have you tried
Getting good?
you tried getting good?
I'm reminded.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
reminded.
Good.
I'm reminded of the start of Dark Souls 2, where the old ladies are like, "And you'll lose your souls," and it's like, "Oh,
Well,
get outta here.
Dark Souls 2 is the one where I think they bought into their own bullshit about the marketing and, oh, it's so hard. Like, that's the...
I know, but that's just what it reminds me of at this point.
Yeah.
It's like when I hear From Software, it's just like I just see a company that's bought into that bullshit and can't make a game that's actually immersive anymore. So, because the marketing is way more fun and profitable if we just say, it's hard, and then nerds online can feel like they got a big dick.
Big dick energy.
See, like, that's the thing is, like, I've seen people being like, well, Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 are the easiest games they've done. So this is more of a return to form. Like, this is probably the hardest game they've done. I don't know.
Man, what the fuck?
It's just... I don't know. It's like, I can't believe I'm spending so long in the game. I said I was not going to talk about... We're like...
We prompted it.
There's Dark Souls as, like, kind of the template, basically, for what these games can be. And then Bloodborne is like, okay, what if you didn't have a shield and everything is about dodging? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then Sekiro is still very fast like Bloodborne, but it's all like, what if the parry was everything?
Okay.
So it doesn't really play similarly, but it requires you to get really good at this one.
Get good!
I really appreciate that. I thought it was really cool, because I never played I always just had a big shield, so Bloodborne was like, oh, I have to really change how I play these games after Dark Souls and Demon Souls. Plus, I skipped Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, so Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, so I'm like, I've only played Demon's Dark and Bloodborne, so I'm very, like...
That's a good trilogy.
I have not been burned out.
I played Dark Souls 3, and I just kind of tanked through everything until the very end, where it's like, oh, these enemies... You can't tank them because they're hitting so hard, so I just went double-handed and beat the rest of the game really easily. So it's like, okay, I'll just take this Y-hander and two-hand it, and bonk, you're dead.
Hey, this is where I say I've never played a single Dark Soul game.
Yeah, they'd make you too mad.
Yeah, those would not do Those would not do you
Actually,
migraines.
I've heard people say like Sekiro reminds them of either a rhythm game or a fighting game because of just how the clashes work.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, I've heard people say, like, there's a point in this game where you either get it or you don't, and I'm not over that hump yet. Because, like, when you clash with an enemy, which is pressing L1 right when they hit you, and this, there's a little sword spark to indicate you did it right, like, they don't necessarily stop attacking.
No, they keep going!
Yeah, so you might have to be doing, like, ching, 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 like, and I think you're trying to match that rhythm with the L1. It's very hard. Enemies are very aggressive, and like a lot of the early enemies, you can just mash R1 on them and then break their defense because they have there's no stamina in this game. Like, they do a lot to change up that formula.
Yeah, that's the thing that sounds really cool about this one, is it just sounds extremely stripped down. Like, they just took out most of the RPG stuff. They took out all the weapons. That's what I like that. That sounds cool to me.
There's the one weapon, your sword. That's it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm here for it.
But, like, there is actually a lot of character progression. It's just not through traditional experience and leveling.
Yeah, there are skill trees and shit, but...
There's skill trees, there's skill points. Well, I guess it was the same thing. But there's also your prosthetic arm, and that has upgrades. Kind of like, oh, I found iron ore, and I found, like, magnetized iron ore to get the second level upgrades. So there's still a lot of insanely gamey shit. Like, the menu to upgrade your arm is, like... 6 tiers deep or something. It's fucking huge. It's like, what the hell?
Alright.
But you can also shoot flames out of it, so that's fucking cool. So, like, my main tactic right now is to just set guys on fire to get their health down a little bit.
Yeah, man. Douse them in oil, set them on fire.
Yeah. It's very hard, though. But it's weird, because, like, normal enemies shouldn't ever kill you, because there's no stamina. You can just run forever.
Yeah. This is the From Software game that acknowledges that players a lot of the time are just going to run away.
Or it's like the one built for speedrunning, because like that's the thing, like I'll spend like an hour clearing an area and then it's like, well, what if I just want to get between these two, air quotes, bonfires, and then you just run past everything super trivially. It's like, oh, that took like literally 30 seconds. Like the statues are so close together in this one. Like, I found 2 in the same room, and I was like, that's a little excessive, guys.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, I don't know why they did that. There's literally, like, 4 enemies between these 2 bonfires, and I'm like, okay, really? Really? I don't know. I think it's because you can enter from 2 different sides, and they were like, well, if you came in this way first, you'd probably want a bonfire here. I don't know. But that's not what the game I'm talking about. I was going to start off with Wander Song.
Okay, well, let's talk about John Thayer's musical adventure.
John Thayer presents Wander Song, a John Thayer game. God, I've played so much since this, though, where it's like starting to already fade in my memory. This game's very good.
Oh,
It's cool.
It is like the most like, oh, I needed this right now. Like pure, happy enjoyment. I don't know. Like there's just a lot of words I can
This is a game that is just out and out positive. It just bleeds. It's just like radiating positivity at every moment.
Yeah, positivity I think is like the good word to like. It recognizes that things may not be great in the world and says like, hey, let's be better.
Yeah.
Because so this is a game where you play as a bard, and he's not the hero in the story, but he finds out the world is ending, and he's going to save the world. He's very determined to do this. Mm-hmm. And the first few chapters are like super, super upbeat and happy, and everything's going great. Mm-hmm. And then what really surprised me about this game is like, I think around chapter 3, I was like, oh, I am totally down for this game to maintain this tone the whole way through, like this super happy, like upbeat thing. And then it actually isn't that the whole time. Like there ends up being more depth to the story and the characters than is initially.
It's like the typical 3-play structure. There's the dark middle chapter, you know,
and the dark middle chapter is really good.
Yeah,
and then there's the dark final chapter.
Oh man, that dark final chapter is real fucking good though.
Yeah, like this game is super, super good. I think maybe the pacing is a little weird because there's one chapter that is like significantly longer than all the others.
Yeah.
And I read so there's actually this hidden dev room you can find at the end. I'm not sure if you did that.
I did not find the dev room. No.
Yeah. I'll show you how to do it later.
Cool.
But basically the lead programmer in that was talking about how the original idea for the game was the wheel of like singing. And then the initial story idea he came up with like turned into chapter 5.
Oh. So
that's why that one is like more fleshed out than the others, because that basically was the whole game at one point.
I see. Huh. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's about these two warring kingdoms, and you kind of go back and forth to try and mend things.
Yeah. With singing!
With singing, because that's all you do in this game, and there's like no fail states either.
Nope.
Like, you can fail the platforming and it just, teleports you back up, but like all the big moments like boss fights and stuff, and this game has boss fights.
Yeah, it does.
But I don't think you can actually fail.
Like that have a boss fight though.
But that's what's so cool is like
it actually does. They have
really creative stuff.
They're really smart with how they handle it.
Yeah.
Just like you see it with just like you see that there are these inklings of how they're going to use this singing system where you can like you sing to plants, and in the direction that you're singing, like the plant will like grow under you, twist and turn that way, and it's how you platform around and shit. That's just like some of the basic shit that they have you do with all of the singing stuff, and they really push that system as far as they can go.
Yeah, it's really neat. I mean, what was I going to say? Yeah, the singing's great. Like, they keep changing it up, like what you're doing with the platforming stuff, and then the special moments are all really unique. And it's nice that I don't know. I always really connect to music in games, so this is a game about music, basically.
Yeah,
so which makes it extra good. Yeah, Tengu Gemini in the chat mentions the character Miriam, who easily was the standout for me.
Miriam is character of the year. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, she's pretty much already character. She's so good, and like, she's this witch that joins you partway through the game pretty early on as like your sidekick to help save the world, and she's kind of not into it a whole lot.
Yeah, she's kind of got like she kind of doesn't see it as futile, but there's just enough there pushing her along because she's got her own little journey to go on.
Yeah.
So you're kind of you're both kind of going on this little adventure, but you both have different goals. And like the dynamics between the Bard and Miriam and the way they interact with one another is humorous and absolutely fucking heartwarming.
It's really great. Like, her character arc is like so well done, and like, again, it hits you when you're not expecting these. Like, this game kind of looks like I hate to say it, like a Flash game.
It
at
really
some points,
does, yeah.
where it's just got this real kind of off-kilter art style that
Off-kilter,
almost looks a little paper crafty.
Yeah, a little paper crafty.
But like also the way it uses colors and gradients makes it look like Flash.
Yeah.
Like literally like Flash, like those basic fade colors. So like, but they will have conversations that are like way too real and hard hitting.
Yeah, they really cut to the heart of matters.
While these little sprites stand there, like not really moving a whole lot. Like I think there's one with Miriam where like I don't think her sprite changes the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but she's like bearing her soul to you while her sprite doesn't move. It's really funny.
Yeah, and they've got like cute little voice clips to kind of back it up though, and those are really nice to kind of add a little bit of dynamic to the moment.
Cool. Yeah, the other thing I like about this is that you can talk to characters and then it'll give you a little prompt to talk to them again. The dialogue's always different.
Yeah, if you want to like talk to all the NPCs in the game and get like all of the fucking dialogue, man, that's the way to play that game. Talk to everybody because you can exhaust.
Keep talking to them.
Yeah, keep talking to them. You'll exhaust their entire dialogue tree.
That's the thing, is that it's really smart in that if they don't have something new to say, the prompt just won't be there.
Yeah,
to
it just won't show up anymore. Yeah.
So it never breaks that illusion of like, oh, they're
repeating themselves.
When characters repeat, like it kind of breaks an illusion of them seeming like a real character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like, and again, like one of the best conversations in the game was just this optional thing with Miriam where she was following me around and get a prompt to talk to her, and so like, this is really towards like, it's the end of the game basically.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, here's like 20 prompts to talk to Miriam if you want, and have this really good conversation while you're walking up towards the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's crazy that this is optional.
Yeah, like this would be like a big moment in most games, and this is just kind of like, it's tucked there if you want to see it.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely worth it.
So yeah, talk to everybody. Basically, my recommendation is like play this damn game because it's really good. And it was made by 3 people, which is nuts.
Yes.
Like that's the dev room. It's just, hey, I made the game, and then hey, I did all the music, and then hey, I did all the sound effects. Like, because the music and sound effects were such a huge portion of this game because it's a game about music.
That game
where it's like literally
oh my god.
I think they say it has like 4 hours of music.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's like they can't even put it on CD because it would be so big.
It would have to be like a 4 CD set.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's funny when you get to the end and the guy's just like, "Hi, I made the whole rest of the game," because he talked to the sound people first. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a game about caring, basically, is what they said. Like, we want to make and like, you know, we've talked about like me and John. I guess all of us here obviously have made games, and like, he says something about like, my goal with Wandersong was to make something positive for the world. Like, you should try doing that too. And I'm like, I will.
I will, Wandersong. I will. I released a psychological horror game where people kill each other.
It's good for somebody.
A good message at the end.
It's good for somebody, yeah.
A Poly Dungeon's got a positive message. There you go. There's my positive.
There you go.
Like I don't
like Red said, we have the nice positive message at the end of the psychological horror game, which we then tore apart.
Those games were not made to be malicious, though.
No,
like, come on.
No.
I know you're joking, but
and after 5, yes, you should play Wandersong, but you won't because it's not a AAA game, and you only play AAA games. So
Called out.
So Wandersong is very good, but I'll move on from the table because I already talked about 2 of the 4 games. Cool. Sayara, back to Japan.
Back to Japan.
Do we want to go back to Japan, or do we want to take a quick break?
I think a quick break would be good.
Okay, I realized that right after I said that.
All right, we will be right back. We'll be right back, and Sayara's gonna he's going to entertain you with the lovely sounds of eating bread.
Music isn't magic, Zach. It's just don't mystify the arts.
We'll be right back.
don't know what to say.
You eating that bread?
I am eating that bread.
All right. Some good bread. It's fresh bread.
That bread.
That podcast
fresh.
bread.
It's good. Fresh made pita bread is so good.
It's good stuff. I like me some pita bread. I ain't got any, though. So I do have to say I'm feeling a little left out.
Just come on over.
All right, I'll be right over. I could probably drive over. I mean, I don't have anything to talk about this episode, so y'all wouldn't miss me at all.
It'd be like all of a sudden I hear knocking, like, there's somebody at my door. Hold on a second. Whoa, go God!
Go God! That's exactly how you would react to. Go God!
Probably.
What?
That was good.
That was good bread.
Let's get that bread.
Get that good bread.
That's a popular joke, right? Get that bread.
Get that bread. You should give me that bread.
It's my bread. I ate it.
That bread.
I ate it.
What the fuck is happening?
I'm being sexually harassed over the phone.
We have fun.
We do.
Y'all want to start without John?
That's not nice.
It's not nice, but I mean, it's John.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Yep. This is entertaining. That's how you do a podcast right here.
Yeah.
I just had to pee. God.
God, you were gone like 7 minutes.
Oh.
How long does it
children
take?
can't stay in pain for 7 minutes
Yeah.
while I plug in my headphones.
You
There.
have kidney stones or something?
Well, I also was posting on Discord. And getting grapes is the big important thing. So now I have grapes.
Right.
Lowering them into my mouth like an emperor. There we go. Also, I heard all that because I unplug and I have the speakers on so I can hear when people come back.
I never left. I was eating bread.
Polly, I expect you to treat your S to your friends better.
What if this is how S tier friends are treated?
Oh shit! Maybe it's
Okay.
All's well that ends well.
All's well that ends well. Alright, okay. Brett, throw it back to Sayara.
Okay, hold on. I gotta get back in the groove.
All I gotta do is say...
I mean, you kind of had a good one there right before you cut that off. I don't know.
What?
Like, I said, Sayara, back to Japan. And then you were like, no, break.
Dog, I had to pee.
I know, but you could just take what I said then and then use that take, because this one's not going to be as good. Okay.
Sayara, take us back to Japan! Rhett's being a bitch!
Let's go back to Japan! Let's go back to Japan! That was a hard push.
It was.
That was a Segui.
That was a good Segui. Let's go back to Japan.
Hero.
Is this Segui as fuck? So, Japan. Arcades.
Yo!
They are everywhere.
Rhythm games.
Everywhere. They are freaking everywhere.
All the arcades in America just went to Japan now.
Yeah, basically. It's like in one area, like that's not the quote anime land, I must have seen like 5 different arcade game stations. And not just like a room with a couple of games. These are like legit
game centers.
It's like game centers. It's like multiple floors, about 1 billion freaking games, and like stuff that requires internet and rhythm games up the wazoo, and like VR pods and like helicopter games. It's just ridiculous the amount of shit that they had of these things.
That is another big attraction. I want to experience. I want the full game center experience. I'm gonna go in with $100 and just go crazy.
Dude, it is so loud.
That's awesome.
Oh boy,
it's so loud. But the only thing that's more louder than a game center is a pachinko slot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, pachinko slot. Yeah.
Which I still have not really been into one because it's like these are just too much noise pollution for my taste, and that's coming from me wanting to listen to like every single rhythm game ever going off at the same time. It's still too much freaking noise pollution inside those places.
Yeah. And it's mostly just boring old people gambling away their money.
Dropping balls in the slots.
Yeah.
I did go to a casino in Canada for the first time, and it was like 95% like 60-plus-year-olds. It was pretty
Sitting
funny.
playing the penny slots. That's where it's at.
Yep.
I did that the other day. I actually went to a casino, played, spent $5, and I got back 35 cents.
There you go. Good
Yeah, I
return.
made it.
Good return on investment.
It was great. But arcades. Every single arcade game now has like memory cards that you have to bring with you whenever you want to like save your progress.
Oh wow.
If it's like a more updated kind of game, like more modern.
Yeah.
If it's like like old ass game, then it's like no, it doesn't have any of that. You just put in your 50 yen and play like that. But most game centers don't have very much of that. It's just like all new stuff. I think probably the closest comparison that I could consider it with is like Dave and Buster's or Round One, Julian's, if that's still a thing where you are.
Nope.
Okay, well, it's basically like a whole bunch of arcade games that are like always being updated and upgraded, and like always the newest state-of-the-art shit, which is cool for me because I haven't played most of the new rhythm games at all since like 10 years ago, because all the PlayStation versions stopped like
with the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, it's like, hey, here's Beatmania 16, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I want to play it again. It's like, yeah, we're at Beatmania 26 now. I'm like, oh. Well, that's cool, I guess. But like I said, most of them they need to have like their own special cards. Luckily, last year I think, like after we left, they're making it so that you can use just one card to save multiple companies' games.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, because before you needed to have the Konami card to play like DDR. You needed the Namco card to play Taiko Drum Master, for example, or Idol Master. You need the Sega card to play any of their like network Sega games or My or whatever. So it's like now you only need like one or two, and you can play like anything in any of the like major game centers, which is a godsend. Except that since I have all the old cards anyway, and I have no idea how to transfer that data over from one card to the other, I'm just like traveling around with like 5 different save cards.
Damn.
It's just like, yeah, I need the meme card, the mime card. No, I need the banana port card. It's like, fuck, I can't find it.
It's like I can only think of like 1 or 2 Midway arcade games that did like memory card stuff here in the US, and like I think like one of the NFL Blitz games did. Like
I was like Cruising USA had like a card.
Yeah.
And you had to key in like your like a phone number whenever you played it. It's similar to that, the Konami ones. Like you slap your card on the console, and then you enter in a passcode so that it knows that it's you and not just somebody just playing with someone's random card.
Yeah.
But that's all fine and dandy. I like those kind of things, like being able to like remember what kind of settings that you played with, like what character did you last play in a fighting game, or what records you have for all the songs that you play or whatever. That's cool. What I don't like is that some of these rhythm games and like other games are like gotchas now, where you can get cards that you use to upgrade your playing experience with said arcade games.
It's so freemium arcade games.
Yep. Like so for example, there's a game called Can Coil which is like, boat waifu game.
Uh-huh.
And you need to get cards either digitally or physically, get cards printed out for you of like certain characters that you could use them for the game. Which is like fine, whatever. If you're gonna be like that, whatever. Maybe you want to get your favorite character or your favorite boat or whatever. Like whatever, I can deal with that. The Love Live game does that. You can get a card printed of like Hanukkah. It's like, yeah, I got a card of Hanukkah and I can use her and she's like remembers who I am and everything. Whatever.
She remembers who you are.
Well, it'll be like, hey, because it knows your name. So it'll be like, hey, Sayara, let's do it live. Let's play a song or whatever.
Oh, Sayara, I love you.
Oh
no,
God, no!
I haven't gotten that far.
This is going down. This is going down some bad territory.
But one rhythm game that I played, which is really fucking complicated, but also really fucking fun at the same time, made you use these gotten cards to make your team stronger. I say in quotes, in order to beat songs.
What?
So the way that this game works, it's called Ongeki or something. You have 6 buttons, 2 like slap things on the side of you, on like arm lengths on the side of each of you, and a joystick. You drive like a little mascot character on like the playing fields, and you have to push the buttons in like DDR fashion, where if like it hits your center spot, you got to push that button or whatever, or you'll hold it or whatever.
Right.
If your character is not in like the play field, because you're not like driving the character around, you're not actually able to press any of the buttons. Like it disables you from actually hitting buttons.
What?
So it's like you have to drive your character, push buttons, smack the slide smacker thingies, and avoid being shot at by bullets, because the enemy will shoot bullets at you while you're playing it. So it's like, you want to play rhythm games? You want to play bullet hell? You want to play platforming? This is a game for you. It's
Jesus.
like, okay, it's complicated, but when you actually get into it, it's actually a lot of fun. It's like, dude, this is fun. I'm enjoying the shit out of this. So they give you 3 characters. Like, these are the characters that you use to, guide your way through the song or whatever. And the songs, they're pretty basic kind of stuff. They have like their own kind of, here's our cool rock music, or here's our cool anime music that we made just for this game, because Sega does that still.
Yeah.
Then they have anime songs, or whatever the new hip animes are, and J-pop songs, and Vocaloid, and all this other kind of crap. So it's like, cool, whatever. So when you get to the harder difficulties, the game warns you that you're not strong enough to beat the song. Because when you like hit the buttons and you're like doing good, like you're getting all the combos or whatever, you're killing the opponent's life bar, quote unquote life bar. And if you can't kill the opponent's life bar, you don't actually beat the song. Which is like, huh?
That's
because in every other game, it's like, if you don't have a high enough life bar, like in some of the other rhythm games, if you don't have a high enough life bar, you fail. Like if you don't have like 80% life or whatever, you'll fail the song. But this one, it's like, if you don't do 100% damage to the opponent, you lose, or rather, you draw. And I'm like, I just got like a 500 combo on a level 9 song the first day that I played this fucking thing. You're gonna tell me that I didn't win?
That's so stupid.
And so it like suggests to you, oh, well, make sure you level up your characters and get new ones by, playing the gacha. And I'm like, all right, what the fuck? So I did it, because they give you a free draw. It's like, you got these shiny cards. I'm like, yay, that's cool. And it prints them out for you, and you can like hold them, and they're like holographic and shit. I'm like, this is cool.
Oh my God.
But then they realize you actually have to use these cards every single time you actually want to play this game. And then some cards don't work against others. It's like rock, paper, scissors.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, can I just,
Can I just do the rhythm game thing?
And like push buttons and slap button thingies and everything like that? Like, can I at least do that and not have to worry about all this gotcha nonsense? But nope, not allowed.
That's stupid.
It's such a
gotcha.
It's such a drag, because it's like, it's actually really fun playing the rhythm game, but everything else about it sucks. It's like my life in PSO2 all over again. It's like the main mechanic in this game is amazing. Fighting is so much fun. But everything about this game otherwise is complete hot garbage. And I hate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
The gotcha experience. Hey, I like this writing. Hey, I like this music. Oh, look at all this garbage that I have to juggle.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to have to juggle through all that. I just want to play the songs. I don't care if my character likes me. I just want to play the songs. I want to be able to play, you know.
That's not enough, Sayara. You can't just play the game. You gotta
invest.
I don't want to invest in games that I'm only going to play for 2 weeks out of a year.
Your dailies.
Oh my
Do your
god.
dailies.
Hey, you played 3 songs today. You get to unlock some more gold. Or maybe you'll give you a draw card so you can draw a character in the gacha pool.
No.
Like, no, stop
I hate
it.
everything about this.
No, stop it. It gets worse because there's other games that I played that have similar kind of scummy bullshit like that. For one, they had like that Fate Grand Order arcade game, which looked
An
interesting.
arcade game?
It's an arcade game.
Oh.
It looks like a hack and slash kind of like Dynasty Warrior type thing with like the Fate characters.
Huh.
And I was like, well, this could be interesting. It also has a gacha. I didn't bother doing any of that.
So it's like an arcade version of that Extella Link game that just came out, I guess.
It might be. But it didn't
they
work at all.
They have a series of hack and slash games.
Didn't work at all. Like I put the coin in there to try it out because I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? I'll try it and I'll hate it, whatever. I'll put the coin in there and it kept on spitting out my money. It's just like it knew that I was gonna like not want to play it.
Yeah, it just sensed your intentions already.
I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not playing that. And then at one point, I put like my coin in there and it spit it out. I put my put my hands back into the machine to get the money out. Somebody had left a whole bunch of coins in there, and so I was like, oh, okay.
Damn.
I guess I just got four extra credits to play some other game that's not this one.
Damn.
Someone else was like, what's the worst that could happen? They put money in and they didn't think it came back
Yeah,
out. They were like, well, what the fuck?
Thought the machine was busted and went on with their day.
Nope, they lost out on one whole coin. But I played a game called Bomber Girl.
Okay. Is this Konami?
Yes, this is Konami.
Okay, so it is like a Bomberman thing.
And it's a pachinko machine.
No,
it's a
gacha.
gacha.
It's a gacha.
Of course.
It is a gacha.
But it's a cosmetic gacha from what I've seen so far. It's like you can dress your Bomber Girl in cool costumes.
Oh, jeez.
So it's like, all right, whatever. That game is awful.
Oh, no.
Like, it's basic. It's like the basic grid Bomberman kind of deal where you plant bombs and like they explode in cross shapes.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's like a player versus player experience where you have like one group of people on one side and like it connects online to find other opponents that you can play against or CPU or whatever. And every character is like 500% over-sexualized for basically no reason.
Of course.
And whenever you like blow up enough times, your clothes explode.
I'm into this.
The only saving grace about that is it actually shows that they have like burn marks and like fire and stuff. So it's like actually showing that they got blown up as opposed to like, oh no, my robes are being disrobed or whatever.
Rhett's pretty into this.
But I was like, okay, I can I played Neptunia, the hack and slash Neptunia game. I played San Ran Kagura. I can get over this exploding clothes bullshit, whatever.
Right.
The control is so clunky. Like you get a joystick and like the joystick it's like so unresponsive to you trying to move around and stuff. And you have to use like a touch screen on top of that to like use skills and plant bombs or whatever, that it was just like such a sluggish, awful experience. And I'm like, this is terrible. What have they done to the Bomberman franchise?
It's Konami. They don't really give a fuck about actual game stuff.
You see, I would disagree if only because all the rhythm games are still like, king tier.
But those are like formulas that have already been established, and I don't think they have to change that much. Like, those are engines and shit that are already, like, done. Like,
Fair.
they don't have to invest a lot in that.
That's fair. They're still good though. But it's like dreadful how bad it was when compared to like all these other type of games that Sega is making, and that like whatever the 2-gun battle versus opponent game, I don't even remember what it's called. It's like you have 2 guns and you have like multiple characters. You strafe shoot people around in like online battle thing.
That's really
cool. You can attach the 2 guns together to get like a special gun power, and depending on who you use, you get like a different one. Like one character gets like a scythe and starts like slashing at people, like a long range slice attack and stuff. So I'm like, this is pretty cool. This is enjoyable, and it has no gotcha. It was actually fun. I was like, I could get used to this, but trying to understand anything that goes on in that game, it's just like I would need to actually have it written in English to get any kind of understanding, because it's like everything is written in Japanese, and the only words that I can understand is yes or no or tutorial or continue, and I'm like, oh man, I don't understand a single thing that's going on, because me and my friend tried to play with each other. Like, they have like multiple stations, kind of like if you were to play Daytona USA. If one player connects to one and player 3 connects to theirs, they'll be in the same game. So we were trying to do that, and we couldn't figure it out to save our lives. It was just like, what button do we push? We just want to play with each other. We want to fight each other, and it just didn't work at all. That's probably the worst part. It's like such a language gap that they don't care about anything being in English for you if you're not, Japanese. Which, to be fair, it's my fault. Should have known better. Still fun though.
Yeah.
What other games did I play that were notable? Sonic Blast Man.
Sonic Blast Man.
The spin-off of the popular Hedgehog franchise?
I wish. But it's a Taito game where you have like a punching bag that comes up at you, and you have to like punch it as hard as you can.
Oh yeah!
And
I
this
played
game
this in the 90s. Is this like a new one?
Yeah, this is a somewhat new one. It's probably like within the last 10 years.
Okay, because I'm like thinking like 96 or something for the original.
Yeah.
It's like very campy. It's like, the first stage is you have to stop some bank robbers, and you're like this super buff Captain Falcon looking ass dude, and it's like, time to punch, and you like punch like really hard, and the character's ragdoll that's like derps all over the stage, like,
and that's always awesome.
It's so dumb, but it's so much fun. And it like records how much like force you had when you punch, and it gives you like a quota you have to reach.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you need to make sure that your punches reach like 100 kilo or whatever. So like you keep going at it 3 times, and then when you finally do it, it's like if you did it good enough, the person gets up and it's like, I'm not done with you yet, and then dies because you punched him so hard that he like flew all over a bank. And it like goes from there. The second stage is you punch a fucking truck, and the truck has the same ragdoll effects. Where it's like, the truck just like flies way past it, like this into the city horizon. It's like, I just punched a freaking truck like a billion miles away. This is so stupid, and I love it.
That is my kind of arcade game.
It's so much fun, but I never got past stage 2 because it requires you to have like way insanely high energy punch.
Yeah, and you're a wimp.
Yes, I am very much so a wimp. And I was like, I can't do it. My punches are like 30 and 40, and it's like...
My punches are like the slap of an infant.
They're not that bad.
They're bad in the game, too.
In the chat, Poncho Smith mentions there's a Sonic Blast Man on the SNES. So these games have been around for a while. But that one looks like it's just a side-scrolling beat-em-up.
Yeah, Sonic Blast Man started as that.
Yeah, I thought I recognized the name.
Oh.
Sonic Blast Man is also a character in Puzzle Bobble 3, which is one of the best puzzle games of all time.
Oh, weird.
Because, Taito was like, let's find Taito characters for our game. So they have, like, a fortune teller, a quiz girl, who's, like, just a generic jester.
Yeah.
The Bubble Bobble characters, the sorcerer Drunk. His name is Drunk. I think it's Drunk. And then it's like, here's a Ryu clone, and here's Sonic Blast Man. It's like, the Ryu clone. What are you doing here, Ryu? Fucking just being in every game ever. What else was fun? Dance Rush. That's what I want to talk about.
Dance Rush.
Okay, so Konami has a newer dance game out that's not like DDR, where it's like you have to like press arrows in like a certain direction or whatever. All the game requires you to do is to use the right or left foot to stamp on like this giant play grid in order to like actually try to dance. Like it's like trying to get people to actually do like shuffling and like doing the Running Man and like all these other like actual dance moves. And it has like all this like super EDM type electronic dance music kind of stuff. And it was so much fun. Like I didn't know how to do like any like the pro skill kind of stuff, but like when you actually find like a YouTube of somebody doing that shit, and it's like this is like legit dancing, and it's like awesome.
Yeah, like dancing games that actually incorporate real dance moves is kind of like that's pretty cool as shit.
Yes. It's also nice that it's like very, very, very lenient and generous about how you actually step, because like as long as your feet are hitting the platform and you're doing something, like if it tells you to like the drop down, like if you just like dip your head ever so slightly, it triggers that you dropped. Or if you try to jump and you like curve your back upward, it will trigger that you jumped. So it's like, you know, as long as you're doing like some kind of a dance move, it's gonna say you're doing great, you're getting 5 stars.
Way to be funky.
You're awesome. And it has like air horns and all this other like really hip trendy shit. It's like, yeah, I feel so cool. So arcades, they're fun, they're loud, they're enjoyable. Playing rhythm games in like groups is more fun than playing by yourself.
Yeah.
There's a Guitar Gitadora, which is basically Rock Band or Guitar Hero, whatever. They have 2 guitars and a drum set up next to each other now. So all 3 of us like actually played together at the same time, like songs that we all knew.
That's really
That's
cool.
really nice.
It was loud as hell, but it was just like, dude, we're all playing together. So if like one person fucks up, everybody gets messed up. So it's like, cause, you know, we're all relying on each other to get like a timing in a song. So I'm like playing the drums, and it's like making you do like a snare and like a hi-hat and a foot pedal at the same time, and it's like do 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 kind of thing. And so I'm trying to sit there and like try to time all the drums and everything. I'm like, fuck, this is hard. This is actually really, really hard.
Yeah, it turns out playing drums is actually kind of, you know, requires a little dexterity.
A little taxing.
Yeah, it's fun though. I enjoyed it, but it's just like, you know, once you get like out of like the level 1 difficulty, because we all started like at level 1, level 2, kind of like the easy mode stuff.
Yeah.
When we got to like the actual harder stuff, where there's songs that we actually know from like, you know, the other games that I played and introduced to them, it was like, wow, this shit's actually really hard, but it's like really satisfying when you actually play it right.
Yeah.
And everybody's like all into it and everything. It's like, yes, this is the greatest.
Cool. Is it kind of like Rock Band? Like just that kind of flow to it, or is it?
It's exactly like Rock Band.
Ah,
Exactly like Rock Band. It's just instead of having everything on one screen, the drum has its own station, so he can look at his own screen to play, and then the 2 guitars have like half of each side of the screen.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool setup.
That's really nice.
It was very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. So while I was in Japan, I ran into my friend, like I said, I mentioned, who I met from PSO2, and he was telling me that I should get back into playing PSO2 because they're giving away all this free stuff to make it like, you know, actually able to get like the best gear or whatever before the new episode starts, because episode 5 is done.
Oh, damn.
We're no longer in like
boy.
Fantasyland. We're going back to space apparently.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, I tried getting back into it, but like the weapon that I want, the Atlas weapon,
Mm-hmm.
which is like, you know, a pretty high end weapon class or whatever. It's like it's gonna be impossible for me to get all the pieces to do it.
Yeah.
He was like, "No, man, it's gonna be easy. Next week they're gonna next week they're gonna have it so that you can get all of these pieces to get those fancy ass weapons of the."
This is like a friend like reaching up out of the muck and trying to pull you
trying
back
to
in.
just
Like,
pull you back
join
under.
me in here.
No, but
It's so nice.
he enjoys the game though. Like he enjoys playing it. He plays it whenever he gets a chance. So like he's having a good time playing it, and he liked playing with me when I played. So it's like he wanted me to get back into it so I can play something with him, because he doesn't play Final Fantasy. He doesn't play Overwatch or any of the other games that I played that are not like rhythm games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we had that one thing that we'd play together, and I was like, yeah, you know, if that sounds good, I'll try it. In 3 days, I was able to get the final ultimate weapon for the Tekker, which is mind-blowing, because originally it was going to take like months to get all the collection files done, and then like hope to God that you get the one weapon that you need to get the last piece to get your weapon. It's just like, this is going to take forever, but then it took 3 days.
I'm sure for some people they did spend months doing it,
Yeah.
and now they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, for them,
MMOs.
they have like a campaign kind of thing where you can get more of those pieces to make your other weapons. So like if they already have like you know, the ultimate wand, they can get pieces to get like the ultimate sword or the ultimate machine gun or whatever, so that they have like, you know, more classes that they can do the super end game content with.
Right.
Which is great.
What if somebody was a real no-lifer and had every super ultimate weapon before they did this?
It's funny you mentioned that. Funny you mentioned that. I posted it this morning on Twitter that some dude got every single austere NT weapon done in PSO2. Because when you quit, austere was like the top of the pops back in the day. Like, you know, if you had austere, you were a god. They released NT series and made austere a 15-star, which is like the same like the Atlas weapon that I have. It's a 15-star.
Mm-hmm.
And to get an austere weapon, you needed like every single other 14-star in the game to get it. Like you need to have the Fade weapon. You need to have Ares weapon, which drops from Anga Flurg or whatever, like that stupid photon monster. You needed to get the Nemesis weapon that gets an ultimate force. You needed the Slave weapon, which comes from the ultimate mines. So it's like you needed all this crap and a whole bunch of other, like, you know, EX cubes and stones and all the crap that you needed for the first austere to get this austere. So it's like, how the fuck did somebody get every single one of them already?
Wow.
This wasn't stuff you could have before, like, I don't know.
Everything could have dropped beforehand except for the austeres themselves before. Like you could go into the forest, ultimate forest, and randomly find, you know, Nemesis wire lance.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, okay, cool. Now I don't need to get any more Nemesis wire lances. I have that one done.
I want to think that they must have just been playing ever since, you know, episode 3 introduced that stuff, and then it finally paid off for them.
I guess.
I don't know. That's nuts.
But it's cool.
Such a grind.
It's cool now that I have like a fancy ass weapon, because
how long till episode 6 does something
26.
better?
April 26.
No, like how long till episode 6 makes a new ultimate weapon that's even better?
I have to think episode 5 is in game.
No, if they're doing episode 6, that means they're gonna have to make something better at some point.
The numbers get bigger, Paulie. That's how it works.
Yeah, the numbers get bigger and the game gets worse because of it.
Then you grind 6 months for your new, like, 20-star.
Look, and then if they make something better than like the Atlas thing, I'm not even gonna bother, because I'm sure I'm not gonna need it. You know, like
that's the thing about this game is that you've never needed
You've
this
never
stuff because it was
needed any of
super
this
easy.
shit.
It's just the solo content was kind of hard. All the group stuff was always trivial.
It's still trivial to do the group stuff. They did add a new solo thing, which is actually frustrating but kind of fun at the same time. They introduced in the end of episode 5, major spoilers, you fight another guy who calls himself Dark Falls Persona. Which at the end of episode 3, it's like you find out that you are the Persona because you kept them going through time, fucking up everything because you wanted to save, waifu number 4.
Don't call Matoy that. God.
So, this guy comes out and he says, "Yeah, I'm Dark Falls Persona," and so in the story you fuck him up. He gets mad. He turns into Omega Masquerade, or whatever. He's like the most edgiest motherfucker in the world. He's got a skull face. He has fire coming out of his back. He has super black Dark Knight armor. He has this giant rose sword or whatever. It's it's super edgy. God. It's like how the Edge 2004 goth bullshit or whatever. They released a solo mode of him where he starts as level 1. Mm-hmm. But he fights like he's level 80, and you can fight him every day up to 5 times. And as you keep fighting him, his map changes, it gets different looking. His attacks change, and it gets harder. Mm-hmm. And so, having a 15-star weapon, which I do now, I get a super bonus to my damage because I spent all the hell trying to get the damn thing. So it's now I get 130% bonus damage to whenever I hit him with anything. God. So I got this fancy ass wand, which when you play wand, all you do is you press attack, you smack the enemy, you make a giant explosion, you do double hits or whatever.
Right.
I hit him with a crit for 90 to 100,000 damage just doing an auto attack, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I'm doing so much goddamn damage. Only problem is, if you keep attacking him with the same kind of attack...
Oh, he adapts?
He resists it.
Ah.
So, he won't resist the auto attack, but he resists the explosion, which is the majority of your damage.
Right.
So, after you fight him, you're saying, "Oh, I'm doing good at this." He gets mad. He gets all the sky turns red, he's super angry. Then he starts resisting half of my attacks, and it's well, shit. I don't do any magic attack. I have no magic damage because all my stats are in strength. So I had to circle around this guy, smack him with auto attacks just enough that I could still kill him in 10 minutes.
Oh my god.
It's cool because his attacks are choreographed. You can see what he's doing, so it's okay, I need to dodge here, or if I'm playing a class, I can guard. I was I can guard here or flip here or whatever. So it's it's trying to time you to do countering and shit like that. So it's a fun kind of different thing that you don't normally do in PSO2, because most of the time it's don't get hit, do 1 billion damage, kill it in 1 hit. This thing you actually have to sit there and avoid getting hit him a lot, try to vary your attacks, and get ready for him to do all this stupid nonsense, because he has a lot of bullshit ass attacks, and they get worse as you get higher up in the ranks. My friend another one of my friends who's playing this got to floor 578.
Lord.
Uh-huh.
So she's fought this person 578 times. And I watched them fight him one time at those higher rank levels or whatever.
Yeah.
He changes the rhythm of how he attacks at the higher levels.
Oh my god.
So it's if you're used to him doing a slash and then waiting a second, then slashing again, he'll do his first slash, shoot something at you to disorient you, and then slash you again a second time.
Oh my god.
And it's just it does cheap shit like that it's you're ready for whatever he's gonna hit at you, but then you're not.
Yeah.
You're just oh no, he's doing everything in the wrong order. What do I do now?
Have you tried using the special super secret, super cool ability that only you get and no one else got it, but you got it because you're super cool?
You have
And
to
then you just effortlessly kill the boss with that?
Yeah.
you have to hit them enough to fill up a gauge to do that. Come on, John, get with the program.
No, you just use it. You just use the super cool, great weapon that you got and no one else has, and then you win the game.
That's how online games work.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's funny.
I wish it were, though.
The way John started that, I thought he was going to be like, "Have you tried the super special technique of getting good?"
That's where I thought he was going.
You know,
Because-
that's what everyone told me before when I couldn't like get past stage 1. I was like, I can't beat stage 1. This is frustrating. They're like, have you tried getting good? And I'm like, thanks.
Because I do feel like there was some similarities in how I played PSO2 compared to Bloodborne, where like it was a lot of like knowing the range of your duck and your dodge and like dodging in after the attack to get in close and do some damage. So can Tekker block now?
Yes, they can.
Oh, okay, that's new.
It's a crafted ice spell.
Uh,
Nabarda, like before you just like, point out your wand and you spell like an ice stream or whatever. Nabarda with the craft, it turns into a shield. So like you pull out the sword, your wand, and you make like an ice barrier. So it's just like block, and then you shoot like a giant ice explosion at the enemy.
Yeah, I think they just added that when I quit, but I never got good at it.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if it was like literally just holding up your wand to like, no, don't hit me, plonk.
Basically, it's like, no, don't do it. It's fun when you get like a crazy ass crit number with a counter. Because like I've gotten like a 50,000 counter before, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I countered for more damage than that should have ever have hit me for.
So you'd be great at Sekiro now because you're all about that counter parry.
Maybe, but I'm sure it's much faster than.
It's much faster.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this guy is like at least on the level that I'm at, because I'm like level 10. It's like 5 seconds before he decides he's gonna slash. Just like, here I come, I'm gonna do it, slash! But if you miss that, epic slow-ass slash, it hurts like a motherfucker. Tekker has like all the D-bands and buffs or whatever, so you can like have like super high defense. It still does like 700 of my HP.
Oh, 700.
Out of like, 1200, that's a lot for a squishy-ass Newman.
I would think that the numbers would be higher at this point.
Yeah, I'm like, I thought I got up to like 2,000 HP at some point. Maybe I'm crazy. Whatever.
I don't have like the super fancy units because I don't feel like dealing with like that hell of a fixing. Yeah, that system still fucking sucks.
God, can you trade stuff in that game? Do you have to be premium?
You still have to be premium, yeah.
Oh, I wonder if I could. I'm not actually going to do this, but like if I signed on and just gave you all my old shit, like, hey, the units might be good. Because I made some fucking like 7-slot unit right before quitting.
Oh my god, 7-slot? I have 5-slot. I was like, fuck this. I ain't wasting all my life trying to do this shit.
It was like real garbage of fixes though, but like, at some point they added up pretty nicely. Maybe it was, I don't know. Whatever.
I was going to say, I think like the highest stat I had on one of my units was like 100 striking attack and like 100 HP. And then some other bonuses on top of that. It's like, yeah, I have 100 HP bonus. I'm so good at this game. I'm good at fixing. But then I got better units, and they're like, you need to upgrade these units now, and then you'll never have to upgrade your units again. I'm like, okay, great.
The way they handled armor in that game was so shitty because it just never drops.
Yeah, it never drops. Especially if you want like the good units or whatever. Because like, probably when you're still playing, they just introduced 12-star units.
Yeah, that was the ones I grinded on.
The Ray units.
I never got those. I got a couple from Deus Ex, whatever his name was, but I ran that like 3 times a day for like 2 months.
Oh my god.
Like, you talking about, I grinded for 3 days for the ultimate weapon. I'm like, this fucking game.
I did one Deus Ex like way later after he was like no longer relevant.
Yeah.
It was just then I got a unit and a weapon from him. I have never gotten a single rare weapon from him at all the entire time I've played against him. And it's like, here's a Quillfod Gunslash and a Quillfod unit, which is like the upgraded version of the Deus Esca weapons. This is like, Why? What am I
Why?
gonna do with this? That's like the worst part about PSO2, I think, when it comes to like the rare drops, is when you get like, you get the notification, you got something really rare, and it's like, holy shit, I got a super awesome weapon. I'm so excited to get this. And you tech it, and it's like Eternal Psycho 1, 15-star 1, a 15-star rod. And I was like, why? I'm never going to use a casting class for me to actually want to have to use this.
Yeah.
So I just equip it to cast Anti now. I'm just like, pull it out, cast Anti, throw it back into my pouch. It's like, yep, done with it.
I think Polly's gonna fall asleep if we talk about PSO too much longer.
So let's change the topic then.
John?
Hey, John!
Maybe John.
I was gonna say, how are you enjoying Baba Is You?
Oh,
Oh,
you want to throw to me?
Throw to Raptor.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, we'll throw to me. Baba Is You is a puzzle game, and it is very damn good.
Yeah, it looks real. I mean, I played the prototype. It was really good and fun, so I've been very excited about this one.
I wonder how long the prototype was.
Like 13 levels, small levels.
So this game's actually really big.
So, explain to us,
so
what is Baba Is You?
Baba Is You, so this is the part that's going to kill Polly's soul. At its core, this is a block-pushing puzzle game.
No! I want it to be a logic puzzle.
No, it is. Don't worry.
It is, but you have to do a lot of block pushing, because that is the fundament. That is what you literally do.
But I don't want the block puzzles to be, push blocks to specific position because the puzzle, that's the only reason it makes sense. I want the logic to be why I'm
There's
pushing
definitely
the block.
puzzles where they have to be in certain spots to make sense with what you're trying to do, unfortunately. So you start this game, and it's basically the logic of the game is written on the screen in words that you can manipulate.
Right.
That's probably the easiest way to explain it. I was listening
that's
to
a
the
good way
Giant
to put it.
Bombcast this week, and Dan Reichert was trying to explain it, and it's such a fucking terrible job that people who played the game were like, what are you doing? I'm not working. I played this game and I don't know what you're talking about anymore. So, the words Baba Is You are on the screen, and if you walk over to it,
Three blocks.
You're as 3 blocks. Yeah, every block a word, every word a block.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So if you walk over to it and push Baba out of the way, then the game just stops because you are not
You're
anything
not Baba anymore.
But you could go over to it and push over a block that says tree, and now tree is you, and you're controlling the tree.
All the trees on the screen.
Yeah, and if there's multiples of something, you can control them at the same time, so you'll be all the trees. Or you can write left to right, or you can write up to down.
Mm-hmm.
So you could write Baba Is You going left to right, and then above that, tree is you at the same time. And now you're controlling Baba and the trees.
Oh, okay.
Or you could just write flag is you, and then at the other time, flag is win, and then you just win the level.
There you go. That's how you win them all.
I think I've so the thing about this game is that you always feel like you're cheating when you beat a level, because they're all kind of designed to look like real levels from a game.
Right.
But then you always go about them solving them in a way that clearly wouldn't be the intended way in a normal game. Like one of the early levels just has a huge lava river across it, and the way to beat there's actually 2 ways to solve that one, but one of them is to just write lava is Baba.
What?
So then all the lava tiles just turn into Baba tiles. So then you're just controlling 40 of them, and then it's trivial. You just get one of them to the flag.
That sounds amazing.
So the tutorial levels are super fun because they're pretty basic, and it really indulges the real dumb stuff like that, where you can just write you is flag is you, flag is win, Baba is win, stuff like that. And then this game gets pretty hard because it is actually a very in-depth puzzle game at its core.
Mm-hmm.
which I'm sure some people may be put off by because it's a sliding block pushing game, and they introduce so much stuff to the game, like, and it never gets overwhelmingly complicated. At least I'm about like halfway through it, but it never reuses like gimmicks for very long. Where like you'll have some levels that are like, oh, there's conveyor belts now, and you have to like think about how you could put a block on a conveyor belt and then have it move over to another set of words down the line,
right,
in order to have a delayed reaction or something like that. Or there's like teleporters, and now you like, I'm trying to think, is like tree is teleporter. So then if anything moves onto the tree, it teleports to like the other tree in the level.
Oh God.
And you can do stuff like push those words into the tree so that the word teleporter gets teleported, but then it deactivates. Like, you can break these levels real easily, and you know, it's very generous with its rewind functions.
Yeah.
And it's just sometimes you'll like one of the verbs that you get, or not verb, or is it a verb? Don't even want to. One of the modifiers you get is the word has, which means that if something gets destroyed, then there is something respawned in its place. So like early on, it'll be like chest has key. So then if you destroy the chest, there'll be a key in it. But then one of the levels was like, you could set up this loop where it was like Baba, or it wasn't Baba, but it was like there's another character, Kiki, who shows up in some of the levels if you're going to have like alternate between who is you. So like I could do this thing where it's like Kiki has text, and then you push Kiki into the lava, and then when he blows up, the word Kiki is left in its place. And then you just move the words over to say, text has Kiki in it. So then you push the text Kiki into the lava again, and a Kiki pops out, like the animal.
That's you can bizarre logic shit there.
That's the thing, is like, because there's no real-time stuff, and you can just keep chaining stuff together. So eventually the answers to that level was to write Baba has Baba. So that when you die, another Baba
pops out. Yeah.
So you can just it gets weird. So you're just walking across like stuff that should kill you, but you're just infinitely respawning instantly.
Amazing.
There was one level where it's like I had the words chest and key, but I didn't actually have a chest or key already spawned in the level. And I don't remember how I did it, but eventually by the end of that level, like, I was playing as both of them at the same time, where it's like chest is you, and then above that key is you, and I'm like, okay, yep, that was certainly a thing that happened. Like, this game's great. There's one level where you write text is you, so then you're moving all of the text on the screen at once.
Oh wow!
So you have to like basically, because
the logic.
Yeah, so like then you have to carefully push up against certain things in order to change the logic while you are still the text.
Oh my god.
So there's Baba, which is like the actual sprite avatar you're playing as, and then the
Most
text
of the time.
Baba. And then the text Baba, which just is the word Baba, which can be used to define rules with other text objects.
Yeah.
And all of it are just objects on a sliding grid
Yeah.
that you walk around on.
And then the word text can be modified a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
that's like where it starts going down a whole different kind of rabbit hole that my mind just goes, oh god, this is gonna hurt my brain.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Like, just in the little version, it was so cool.
Like, I am definitely going to play this because I'm here for the logic.
You'll have fun
systems.
with those good tutorial levels. They're like, oh, this is really cute. Like, this game has such a good hook of just being like, it's such a super inventive concept of what you're doing. And like, it eases you into the difficulty pretty gently, and then it gets messed up a couple of months in.
This is the same dev as Environmental Station Alpha, which I think is very funny.
Nuts. I had no idea until you said that. I'm like,
Yup.
I understand it now, like looking at that art style, but I like this game a lot more.
Yup. Because it doesn't pretend to be Metroid Fusion for like 10 hours.
But maybe it does. Oh, yeah. But it might get weird at the end. There's a bunch of achievements on Steam that have like less than 1% completed, and they're just stuff like Baba is not, Baba is all, and I'm like, okay,
Oh, God.
I have no idea where this game goes, but I saw one person say there's an quote extensive post game,
Oh dear.
and I'm like, oh boy, and I'm like already really struggling with like the mid game stuff.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry too much about like complete 100%ing it. I think
I really want to though, because it's actually really fun, but
yeah.
it's funny where it's like, oh, is this gonna take me like as long as Sekiro to actually beat?
Yeah, because this is kind of taken over Sekiro as the game you're playing, I noticed, because you got Sekiro and you were playing that, and then you got Baba as you.
Well, it was basically my week of vacation ended, and I was like, I can't deal with so many spinning plates right now that I'm back to work, and have Sekiro be one of those plates.
That's pretty demanding plate.
So I'm gonna put you down for a bit until I finish the next game I'm gonna talk about, and then I'll pick you back up.
Yeah. I put down Ys 8 for about 2 weeks, and I finally got back into it last night, and it was like, yes.
But
Ys
Ys 8
back to those
is
things.
probably not as hard as Sekiro.
Probably not true.
Yeah, I went back to Sekiro last night after like not playing it for a week, and I was just like, oh god, I have to relearn the controls. Like this was a mistake. But I got back into the groove like pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Baba Is You is really good, and like I'm having the Tetris effect thing now, where I look at words on a screen and I see Baba like pushing them around.
Oh no!
Baba Is You is good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Cool.
Yeah, and there's so many modifiers, like the word and shows up, so it's like Baba Is You
man.
and something else.
Oh god.
Or like object, or like key and chest are, something. It's like you start writing more complicated sentences, basically, where it's not just is the whole time. Like that's the thing that really impressed me about this game, is that it has this super appealing hook and like unique gameplay thing, and then it iterates on that properly.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going about it in a smart way to where it's not immediately off-putting if after coming out of those tutorial levels where it's just like, oh, okay, now here's the brick wall.
Here's everything. There's lots of brick walls in this, though, but you just have to write wall is not stop.
Damn.
Yeah, the game's pretty good about being open about which areas it unlocks you at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I have most of the rest of the game unlocked, even though I'm only like halfway through. So I'm like on world 5, but I like have access to like 9 or so right now. So it's like if I get truly stuck, I could at least look at some more levels and probably also get stuck on those.
That's a nice thing. That's a nice touch when it's not just a linear string of things to get stuck on.
Yeah. But it's also like, oh, they just introduced the word not, and I'm like,
uh-oh.
This is gonna get complicated, because I think the solution was like to do a double negative.
Oh.
So it's like flag is not win.
That's genius.
That's the thing. Everything about this game is like, oh, that's fucking genius.
Like yeah.
The way you feel like you're breaking it, the actual solutions, you always feel like you're getting one over on the game, even though you're probably doing exactly how they intended it.
That's really cool.
The only thing is, like, there's 2 types of levels in this game where I look at it and I go, oh, I get it, and beat it in like 5 minutes. and then there's levels where I look at it and go, I don't get it, and I struggle for like an hour. And I hit one of those today, and I'm like, oh god, I don't get it, because I have all the words, I think, and I'm trying every combination, nothing. I just have no idea what the game wants from in this one level.
What do you want from me, video game?
Seriously. The flag is right there. What do I do? Skull is defeat.
Good shit.
Yeah, that game's really good, and as well, I'll be picking at it for another month or so, probably.
So I just bought it.
There you go.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Fuck yeah.
So, John, what else have you been up to?
I just have two little things left, basically.
Okay.
One is that I did a my Vextro friends on a different Discord started a little games club. So we'll see how that goes, but They did Us Lovely Corpses last week ago because a different friend really wanted to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just linked a game in the chat, which was a really sweet little, not RPG Maker game. It's called the Wolf RPG Editor, called At the Tail End, that I had a really nice time with, where the basic hook is that you wake up in a world after the Dragon Quest boss has, an RPG world after the Dragon Quest boss has been beaten.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just have this little, like, 3-hour game where you walk around, there's no fighting.
Oh, this was made with Wolf RPG Engine. That's been around a while.
Yeah, I've never heard of it, even. It's
an interesting, a bit more kind of a complex version of RPG Maker, just because everything's so kind of... It's not, like, the GUI is not very friendly, but it's very similar.
Do you mean the GUI?
Yeah. No, I mean the Jewy.
Oh, Jesus. So is this on John's list of games he needs to, or game engines he needs to make a game in?
Basically. It just has a nice feel to it. The running, you can run diagonally. You can go diagonally and also run, and it does the thing where running diagonally just moves you at the same speed vertically and horizontally as you would just doing the cardinal direction. Yeah. So when you go diagonal, you go super fast. It's really silly.
One of those early things in Game Maker you got to learn to program around if you're doing 8-way movement.
Yep, or not, like in this, or like Doom. They don't fix it.
Fucking worry about it. They just add it.
You're playing Doom. When I play Doom, I'm just running around diagonally, like racing.
Yeah,
it's really silly.
Good for speed running.
Yeah. So I had a nice time with this because it made me cry at the end, and it had a nice little story. And it just reminded me, it's a VG person translation, and it just reminded me how absurdly competent and good just all of her translations are.
Yeah.
They're just on point.
Yeah.
She did, I think Eve was the first one I played by her, but she translated. Standstill Girl's really good and has a really good translation. I want to play some of her original stuff too at some point, but it's just like this web. She just has this site. You can get down to the bottom of that site I linked, and it's just, here's like 40 cool foreign RPG Maker games that are translated because of me, and all of them are really professionally done. I've done some professional work. You can look on this different page, but these are all free. So nice things of like, oh yeah, I love this translator. I love this, and I really like this story. So hopefully we're gonna play more weird RPG Maker shit. So the other thing is that I watched all of Konosuba.
Yeah, show's real fun.
It's real fun. Oh man,
just takes the isekai genre and takes a big dump all over it.
Oh, I appreciate it so much more for having watched a bunch of fucking Sword Art Online.
Yeah, like you picked the perfect progression to go into that show. Like if you were looking for like a good, diving in point to enjoying it is coming from the bullshit that SAO is right into Konosuba.
Yeah,
it's like you have to know what they're making fun of, basically.
Yep. So Konosuba. I think probably watched this when we went over on the podcast before, but just the premise is that he is walking home from picking up a game at like 3 a.m. so that he can go back to being alone in his house all day. And then he sees a high school friend who he thinks is a pretty girl. And then, oh my god, a truck is coming! And it's gonna hit her! So he runs and pushes her out of the way. And then dies tragically from the truck and wakes up in the afterlife, where this goddess Aqua tells him that he just died and that now he gets to choose how he reincarnates. But then also lets him know that the girl actually wasn't going to be hurt. It wasn't even a truck. It was actually a very slow-moving tractor. And he didn't even get hit by it. He just died of shock because he thought it was a truck.
And he peed himself.
Oh my god.
And his family laughed about it.
Yeah. It's just to give give you that's already a good starting point.
Exactly. And then the goddess, this is just the first like 4 minutes, and then the goddess is like, because this one world is really awful, we need more, nobody's choosing to reincarnate in it. So if you reincarnate in this fantasy world where the Devil King runs amok, you can keep all your memories from your previous life, and you get a special extra item, and then hands him a bunch of cards to review, like a special sword and whatnot.
Yeah, like one item you can carry into the next world.
One item. But he's also just been making fun of him this whole time.
Yeah. She's just like, going ham on him.
Going totally ham on him. So he's starting to feel like kind of bitter, and he just, I'm taking you with me.
And the powers that be are like, yep.
So that's the thing. I'm stuck in another world. Konnichiwa, isekai. And then he has like the pop culture. He's like, this is gonna be great. I know my way around RPGs. I'm gonna wreck this game. And then they don't have any money.
Yeah.
They're level 1. They can't do anything. The stats are bad. Well, you've got. Oh, but her stats are really good, except for her intelligence, which is really below average. And then and the goddess is useless.
She's completely useless.
Completely useless. So that's how the show starts, is that they are useless and ineffective, starting at level 1 in the beginner town, and they spend the majority of the show just in the beginning town.
Yep.
They just kind of hang out there and live there and meet new fun friends.
Yep.
I love that montage in episode 1 where they're like just kind of hard work laborers.
Yeah,
for like a
doing
month.
doing the daily grind.
Yeah, so it's like a good. Yeah, Aqua drinks and vomits rainbows. Like,
yeah.
They do that montage and it's like, and then finally they're like, "What are we doing? Weren't we going to be like RPG heroes?
This is going to be an adventure. What's happening?" So they wind up taking quests ultimately. So it just starts off with nothing, and it's just this like kind of nice, down to earth. These are all losers living their life.
And they're just all assholes.
They're all assholes. They're assholes to each other. They make the new friends, and then the friends are dumb and also assholes.
Yeah.
And then it makes that grounding, and then every time, and then something good really good will happen to them, and then it's immediately undercut by something awful happening.
Like they never catch a break.
Yep.
And when they do, there's either a catch to it later, or it's just immediately snatched away.
Yep. So that's like, it doesn't feel like dour or mean either.
No, it's not. It's very much reveling in the fact that these characters are just assholes, but they're likable in a way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The main kid, especially, what's his name? I'm drawing a huge blank here.
Oh, shit. Kazuma?
Kazuma. Yeah. He's just such a shithead.
He's a shithead.
Oh my god. I just coming off of fucking Sword Art Online. I love Kazuma. I love Aqua. I love all of them. Love Darkness. I love Megumin.
Megumin is great.
I don't think I need to like explain their gimmicks, like because that's such a joy is watching the show and finding them out.
Yeah, like it's just
they're
like
precious.
Y'all are so fucking dumb.
It's so funny. I was gut laughing at this show.
Yes, it is legitimately laugh out loud fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm. And then like, because it's grounded in that much like kind of cynical real life, like, oh, we can't catch a break, we're constantly in debt because of our own idiot decisions. It makes the moments of like lightness and niceness feel really earned and warm.
Yeah.
So I wound up like finishing the show feeling like so connected and loving these characters.
Yeah.
I think there's that undercurrent of like, this world, like the world is awful in the same way that like our world is, and we have to find people that we care about and cling to them.
Yeah.
And
like that's happened to these unfortunate losers. Like it's like yeah, they're assholes, but there's still a heart there. It's not like it's not cynical and nihilistic. It just has a lot of fun with characters that are literal idiots.
Yep.
And that are just so naturally spiteful toward one another.
Yeah.
It's just the ease at which they can go from a tender moment to spitefulness is so good.
There's so many moments that are just like watching a bitter married couple argue, or just like, oh, you love each other, but also, oh man, this is bad. So yeah, I love the show. I love the characters. I'm so I never finish shows, and then I'm like sad that there's not more, because I'm always so like eager to get to the next thing that I'm like, hey, I'm ready to finish this thing. It's gonna be, finishing things feels like kind of checking an item off on a list in my brain. Like, okay, I accomplished that. I'm ready to move on to the next thing.
You especially want things to end at a natural point, not keep dragging out.
Yeah, but this is one where like it's not that it ended at a bad point. It was a perfectly nice and lovely ending. I just like, I want there to be more though.
Yeah, there's a movie coming out this year.
Is that what they're doing next?
Yeah, there's a movie.
The season 3. Or is that some other isekai show getting a season 3?
I don't think it's actually getting a season 3. Not yet.
There's plenty of light novels at least. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that'll never be translated.
They might be licensed. They're
translating like the main one.
I think they brought over at least 2. I was Googling around. I don't know if I'll read them though.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like something about this show, like because the animation is so key to it.
Yeah.
Like this show has super expressive animation.
Yeah.
Like they've even talked about how like they want the artists to just use their natural styles instead of like everything is off model.
Yeah,
basically.
instead of conforming to one model style for everything, like
they want you to be able to watch it and go, "Oh, he animated this part because Aqua looks like this." Like
Aqua looks like mush, and she's sobbing. Of course.
Oh, there's that one shot of season 2 of her just having like a mental breakdown.
I fucking love that scene so much.
Oh, it's so good.
Because it's so about the animation, I'm just not sure how differently it plays in a written form.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm definitely of the opinion that like the visual of that show is kind of like really what
very
makes me love it so much.
Yeah, and just timing. Comedy is timing.
The darkness theme that plays for a lot of. Oh. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm Darkness and Rhett is Megumin and Polly's Aqua. Check out.
Ouch.
Is there a way to put that that's not ouch?
I don't know.
All right, so yeah, I very much just completely connected with that show. Thank you all very much for pointing me at it.
Yeah. Sockscast approved.
Sockscast approved. Konosuba.
I swear there was an episode probably like 30 or something where I'm like, hey, this new anime comedy is actually really good, you guys.
Yeah, it was. You definitely have talked about it in the past before I watched it.
No, I know. I was like watching it as it was airing though, season 1. I was the trendsetter.
Yep. All right. I think Brett gets the points for this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good shit. All right. Let's see. All right. So Rhett or Sayara? Who's got a thing?
I have a thing.
What's your thing?
Sayara, what's your thing?
Tetris Attack.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So within the last week and a half, I've learned that there is a Tetris Attack emulation program that is like not SNES emulator, but an actual like hardcore thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
2, there's a gosh dang community of people who play competitively Tetris Attack.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, that I am literal hot garbage at Tetris Attack.
Oh no, I take it the tournament did not go well.
I haven't had a tournament yet, but listening to what the other people are saying in like the two chats that I joined about Tetris Attack, they're like, yeah, I got the record of like 15 minutes for beating very hard on solo mode. I'm like, 15 minutes to beat that? I can't even like beat very hard mode without getting a continue or two. And they're like, we play on like, level 5 with like all the extra blocks. I'm like, I've never done past like level 5. I'm just learning how to play level 5 difficulty in Tetris Attack. And it's just like...
a whole new world has opened up for you.
Yeah, basically. And it's just like, wow, I used to think, it's like some hot shit in this game because I had like versus matches last for like 30 minutes because neither of us could kill each other because we just keep attacking each other with like these giant ass garbage block counters.
But it just turns out you both sucked.
Yeah, basically. So Tetris Attack is not like Tetris at all. In fact, like they only called it Tetris Attack in America because it was like, it's Tetris, it's gonna sell if it has Tetris in the name or whatever.
Yep.
Oh, isn't this actual Panel de Pon is the name?
This is not Puyo Puyo though. This is
not Puyo Puyo.
Okay.
So it's basically you get like a field with a bunch of like different colored squares, and they have like a different symbol on it. So if you can't see the color, you can look at the symbols and like match like 3 or 4 or 5 of a kind of the symbols. But you can only flip tiles in like either direction. So like if you have like a blue and a red next to each other, if your cursor's there and you flip them, the blue and the red flip places. So that's the only way that you can like break blocks, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do like match more than 3 at once, or if you like set it up that when you break 3, another block drops and hits 2 others, and that makes another 3 break, what they call like chains or combos or whatever. In verse mode, it sends garbage blocks back at the opponent. So it's like, you want to do your own thing, trying to get rid of the blocks on the screen and like do all these like attacks to throw garbage at the opponent. Now, when the opponent gets the garbage, they have to match something touching the garbage to break the garbage up. So it's kind of like Puyo. If you pop some bubbles next to the garbage bubble, it pops that with it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they break the garbage, it turns into more color pieces. So you can sit there and set up all your pieces below the garbage, which is melting into like actual pieces, to set up for bigger chains. So what ended up happening is me and the opponent were like, setting up all of the garbage as it's like breaking, setting up all these giant chains so that when our big chain 15 happens, it sends them like a 15-time block. Mm-hmm. They send it right back to me because we keep going back and forth with each other at it. So it's just like, holy shit, this match is never going to end because the two of us keep doing this, and it's like, 30 minutes later, the speed of the tiles are going like 1 billion miles an hour, and it's just, you have to move, like, do something, make a combo or somewhere, or else you're going to lose. It's like, 2 seconds. It's like, oh, you're done.
Yep.
So it's like, wow, this is really stressful. At the time, it was just like, holy shit, this is amazing. I did good at it. Now that I'm seeing all these people doing all this, like, crazy shit, I'm just like, wow. So I'm trying to,
Stack imposter syndrome.
Yeah, basically. I'm trying to get back into it now, like learning how to do like the level 5, how to work with the other color pieces, and like do stuff with like chains and setting myself up to getting like big attacks or whatever.
To actually play Tetris Attack.
Against people, yeah. I mean, the way that I played it before is fine by myself, but like to actually fight against somebody, you have like that constant push and tug about like do I attack or do I defend or whatever.
Yeah.
They have the emulator has like a mode which is called 1 player versus yourself, and so you get only 1 field and you like do whatever you want, like you attack whatever. Mm-hmm. Any attacks that you do on your screen comes back as garbage on your screen.
Oh, that's interesting. That's
so it's like you set yourself up like a 3 combo in a row. So it's like you get like this big old garbage block. So it's like, yeah, I did this. They would normally get it. Instead, you get it. So it's like you do this cool thing and suddenly a giant block appears. It's like, fuck, now I got to get rid of this while trying to do other stuff.
Mm.
And for whatever the music is random. It picks from any of the stages from the Tetris Attack game.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that they gave me is like the tutorial music, which you don't normally get. And the tutorial's music for the, like, you know, you're in danger sound is like the most stress-inducing song I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, it has like this like cute little melody behind it, but then you have like this like blasting trumpets, and it's like this panic motion. It's like, oh god, I need to do all these things, and I only have like 20 seconds to do it. Oh god, help! So I go on for like 10 some minutes, just like in a back and forth battle against myself, trying to, you know, not fail miserably, and it's just like the most nerve-wracking experience that I've had trying to learn how to play the game again, because it's been like 10 years since I've last played Tetris Attack. Do this like verse mode, learn the new mechanics again, and deal with that song like blasting in my ears at like, you know, super loud volume, because it like gets louder when you're in panic mode.
Yeah.
It was fun. I recommend it.
Yeah, my only Tetris Attack experience is like about like a week and a half of getting really into the SNES game for a while, and then just like to the point where I was like Rhett said, just seeing it in when I close my eyes. But then outside of that, like never really touching it.
I enjoy it. Like, I've always enjoyed puzzle games. Like, if I'm not playing rhythm games, I'd probably be playing puzzle games, like those like action-packed puzzle games.
Yeah, that's what I was. It always feels weird to me when people call Tetris or Tetris likes like puzzle games, I guess. Because to me, like, they feel very, like... They feel like action games,
They're
I guess.
block action games.
Yeah.
I've always just called them, like, puzzle action. Only because, like, you know, the puzzle part of it is, like, you know, figuring out how to combine blocks together to make, like, these, like, glorious chains or whatever. Because, like, people will sit there and, like, set themselves up, either, like, you know... So they don't have to do anything, or they can click pieces just fast enough to make, like, you know, 15 combos in a row. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and it just goes all the way to 15, and they're still moving blocks to get more blocks to like break at it. And it's just like, damn, that's freaking awesome. It's just like, I want to be able to do that, but it's just like, I'm nowhere near that level yet.
It's like, whatever you do, this tournament coming up, I need you to toss Junkyard Dave in the dumpster.
I don't know if that's going to happen, if he can already do, like, the very hard and all that noise. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm probably going to be, like, the weakest link in this tournament. They still haven't decided when it's going to happen yet, but as soon as I know, I'm sure you'll hear about it, or I'll let you all know.
Yeah, I follow Junkyard Dave. I know he's the one setting it up, so... Yeah, toss him in the dumpster, man. I need you to do that for me.
I will do my best.
If he's the one setting it up, he might be pretty good.
Nah, he's Junkyard Dave. His name is Junkyard Dave. He's from the junkyard. Come on now. What's he good at?
And you know, there's a lot... Oh, wait, it's not Tetris. Never mind.
It's not Tetris. Although the Tetris 99 is also very nerve-wracking, too. When you're,
my God,
deep in it. Dude.
The song that plays when you hit, like, the top 10 is Flight of the Bumblebee.
Yes.
It's just... it's real
silly.
stressful.
It just makes it so much more stressful, because by the time you get to like 10 people left, it goes so fast also. So it's like you have to have like super stupid reflexes while dealing with, like, you know, 9 other people trying to send shit up your way. And it's like, no, leave me alone. Puzzle games are a blessing.
They can be. I'm real good at them.
Yep, that's Polly.
It's a thing I'm known for. You want to see some top-notch Tetris 2 play? Boy, I got a video y'all can check out.
There's a Tetris 2?
I played it on the...
I know.
Yeah, everybody says that every time it's brought up.
Oh, so unoriginal.
A commercial for Tetris 2.
Tetris 2 is basically Dr. Mario, but with weirdly shaped pills, basically.
And bombs.
Oh, yeah.
And
so what happened to Tetris 3 through 98?
Boom.
Is there a Tetris 64? I don't think there is.
There is, yes.
There is? Shit.
Yeah.
They're really jumping around the timeline.
You know, I think some YouTuber made a video, like, making that joke.
I totally saw that, too.
God, Rhett. You gotta bring original material, man. Come on. You've been doing this for almost 100 episodes.
Great artist steal.
How dare you? How dare you say that to my face? my digital face.
So is that Tetris Attack?
That is Tetris Attack. I want to get back into it.
Rhett, close us out. What do you got?
We're closing out with 428 Shibuya Scramble.
This is my jam. I want to play this so bad.
So a couple of things to preface about the name. I guess 428 is like kind of slang for Shibuya based on how the numbers are pronounced in Japanese.
Yeah.
Because I know 4 is she, so Shibuya.
Yeah.
Okay, and the scramble specifically refers to like those huge intersections where it's like no cars and just people walking across constantly. So like that's kind of a theme of the game where it's the crossroads. It's all these people's lives intersecting with each other. So this is a visual novel released for the Wii in 2008.
For the Wii?
It did not get a US release until like 10 years later. Right? It's Spike Chunsoft, like them alone, I think. It came out for the Wii in 2008 in Japan. It got a 40 in Famitsu, which is their highest score. Yep. And I think that was before they were a little looser with those.
Yeah.
So this game was a big deal, and then it never got localized. And 10 years later, they do like an HD version on PS4 and PC, and it finally got localized somehow. And I don't think it sold very well whatsoever.
No.
Which is a real bummer. Yep. So this is a visual novel that uses live actors, or it's like real people.
Yeah, it is definitely a look.
It's got a look. Novel. So it's just real actors, playing these characters, and it's 99% photographs, but there are a couple scenes that just has them, like some video clips. Mm-hmm. And those are always real cool to see, because it's like, I don't know, you just get really into them being like, oh yeah, this is that character. And oh, you seeing them in motion now. I don't know, it's kind of neat when it happens. Mm-hmm. It's like it felt like getting like a CG in the older Final Fantasy games.
Like, yeah, when one of those would pop off, you knew like something cool was happening.
So it's like, oh, this is a real special moment because they actually did video for it instead of just a picture. So it's a visual novel where you control 5 different characters, and the timeline is weird because choices you make on one character will affect other characters. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of the whole theme of this game. Like that's kind of why it's the Shibuya Crossroads. Mm-hmm. And like they could have done a whole like VLR thing where the timeline would look completely fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
But basically what they do is the game remembers all the choices that you make, and if you go back and change something, like it'll just kind of fade out the previous timeline for other characters if it affected them. So you only ever see like the 5 linear streams, and it doesn't directly show you where one character's choice affected another, because it would be a real nightmare to
that would
navigate this whole thing.
Shit.
I'm not even sure if it would be possible to like physically draw it all out. Mm-hmm. But so there's a lot of starting and stopping in this game, which is kind of the one knock against it, because you're jumping between these characters and these stories like pretty rapidly. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes you'll get a good chunk in, but like there's specific scenarios where it's like you'll get partway through a character's chapter and it'll say like keep out, like there's a gameplay thing. Basically you need to hop into another character's story, and then at certain points there'll be red text where they'll mention another character, and then you highlight that text to jump back over to that character. So it's a way of ensuring that you've read certain chapters before others.
Yeah.
And then towards the end game, like they do some pretty weird ones of how you get a character to say another character's name, basically, in order to enable the jump.
Huh.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it a couple days ago, and then I did a little more post-game stuff today. I kind of. Oh, the other thing, obviously, the other gameplay part is that there's a lot of choices, and then the choices will affect other characters in pretty major ways. So another big theme of this game is that they really go bonkers with some of the bad endings.
Oh yeah, there's lots.
There's like 90 bad endings, and like a whole bunch of them are right at the end of the game, and they're not really anything, but like a good 50 of them are really weird side stories where things just go off the rails, and they have a lot of fun with it. There's one where like one of the characters you're playing as is a girl in a cat suit, and one of her endings is like, And then she found her true calling to be a professional eater.
What?
She's going on the circuit now to be the best like ramen eater she can be. Like really weird stuff. There's one that has like an alternate dimension open up. I have no idea why, and I was just like, what is this game? Like literally a wormhole opens up and swallows 3 of the characters, and they don't really ever explain it. It's just a goofy side thing. And then there's like bad endings where it's like, oh well, because this happened, you died.
Oh,
you know?
well, yeah.
Bullshit.
There's a lot of ways you can get killed, but like the funny thing is seeing how these little changes affect it, where it's like one character made a promise like 3 hours ago. Is he going to fulfill that promise because he forgot to? So he should go back and do it, right? And then like him going back ends up with like 2 characters being arrested. It's like there's one part early on that's really kind of aggravated me because I had to look it up, where 2 different choices affect another character's resolution.
Oh.
So it's like, this character needs to pick this, which will then enable this scene, but that scene will play out negatively no matter what, unless this character does this.
Oh, jeez.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's like it all makes sense, kind of. But like, I think it's a little rough at the start. Like, the tutorial is weird because you only have 2 characters for the tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like kind of trying to guide you through it, but then it does so in such a way where like you end up with the character whose choice is bad no matter what. So it's like, oh, go back to the other guy, and then you do his alternate choice, and then that also ends up bad no matter what you do. And I'm like, what? Like, because then you have to go back to the first character's choice and then switch theirs to whichever ends up being the good one. It's a little complicated for a visual novel. It's fun though. Like,
yeah, it definitely sounds like something that would be a little overwhelming at first.
Yeah,
to kind of just be like, how do I keep track of this?
That's why when push came to shove, I was like, I have to finish this game before Sekiro because I will forget plot lines in this game if I let it sit for too long. Because I'm dealing with, like, you know, these 5 character stories and how they interweave with each other. And, you know, they all have their supporting side cast of characters.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of characters in this game, and, you know, it's all Japanese names, which makes them a little bit harder to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, who was Tatano again? Oh, he's not. Okay, got it. You know? But, like, the story is really good. It wraps up really nicely. And then it gets weird.
Mm.
So I found out something today that there actually are 2 endings to the game. There's the true ending and the kind of normal ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got the true ending.
Nice.
Okay.
Which was nice. So basically, I beat the game, and there's this anime trailer, and I'm like, what? I didn't know that was in here. So there was an anime in 2009, a year after the original game came out, called Kanon.
Yep.
And that's a sequel to this. But what they added in the re-release is actually a different side story featuring that character that is mostly like backstory prologue for her, but it's also still tied into the story. And so if you get the true ending, you unlock her scenario, which then jumps from live action, you know, footage and people to the anime style.
Which that's real weird.
And it's real weird. Like, I understand it tying into the anime, but like playing this on its own terms, it was like a huge, massive shift that seems like it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I thought the anime was an adaptation of an extra scenario they put in the actual game, I guess.
So I'm going to rewatch the anime. I'm not sure if this scenario that I read through is part of the anime. It might be, because I don't really remember the anime because it was, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But apparently this scenario was originally written for the game, and then in 2008, and then not included at like the last minute.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So I don't know how, but the anime itself, so I was doing some digging today just so I could have all my facts straight. I found a 2008 October post on my Anime News Network that said, hey, this game that is about to come out in December has just had an anime greenlit for it. Also, Type Moon is writing one of the scenarios in the game. but then apparently didn't get included at the last minute.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this is. So I guess they finally went and included it in the re-release on PS4. So yeah, it's kind of a weird thing at the very end. I think the main game, all the live action stuff, like wraps up super well. So it's like you don't need to. It's basically it's this weird abrupt tone shift because all the characters up to this point are, these normal people living in Japan.
Yeah, and if you've seen Kanan, you know you're dealing with fucking assassins and shit.
Yeah, it's like, well, how does this all relate to the whole thing? And just the whole tone of the thing is like even more grim than some of the bad endings get.
Right,
it's like,
right.
oh, it's a character, growing up post-Iraq war.
Yeah, it's
in
pretty
Iraq,
well, yeah.
like dealing with, losing her family in a bombing or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little dark. And it's just, yeah, they're talking about like, so this game is really good about giving you tooltips to kind of inform, like, what am I trying to say? Like tooltips, like, oh, here's information about like the CIA, because if you don't know what they are, and
Yeah,
characters
like
start
Steins Gate's
So,
got
like-
that too. Yeah.
yeah. So in the Kanan scenario, they start talking about like the Israel-Palestine conflict a lot, and really going into some of those people who are involved in that.
Mhm.
And the weird thing is that I can tell some of those have been updated because they're like, oh yeah, Gaddafi died in 2011, and I'm like, that's after that game originally came out. So you guys actually like kept these up to date as well.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's so different from the whole rest of the game. It's a weird thing to include after you've beaten it.
Yeah.
But here's an extra super weird thing. There's a different post-game unlock scenario if you get the normal ending.
What?
So I had to go back and make one wrong change in order to get a different ending to unlock the other end game scenario that has nothing to do with Kanan.
Weird.
So, Polly, when you play this game, you might not get the anime trailer at the end, and that'll indicate if you got the true ending or not.
Yeah, it's one of those I'll have to ask.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Is
Obviously-
the base game feel very good and solid?
Yeah. Like I went back and I got the normal ending, and I was like, well, this isn't quite as good. I don't really like whole true ending stuff because it's like you get one shot to make a first impression, so you want to do the best one possible, you know?
Yeah.
Because the two endings are similar enough where it's not like this huge divergent. Like the normal ending isn't like, and then everybody died.
Yeah.
Batman, fuck you. It's like it's a good ending,
Right.
but it's not the best ending that they made.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Mm.
So yeah, I've got that one more scenario to read, which is probably about an hour long.
Cool.
But the Kanan one was like at least 2 hours long, and like goes some places. I'm like, this is such a weird thing to include after you've finished a game.
Yeah, and like knowing what Shibuya Scramble is and knowing what Kanan is, like knowing that those two things are so tonally different, and like understanding how those two things tie together is going to be really interesting.
Once you get a certain point into the game, you'll start to see how they connect.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm sure that the large events in Kanan take their, inspiration or source directly from Shibuya Scramble, so.
Yeah. It's a cool game. Like, I really recommend it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to getting into that
It's pretty long, though. That's the thing is, like, when I started this, I was like, oh, I thought this was like a short comedy game. This thing's like 30 hours long. Because it just, because you've got, like, the whole thing takes place over the course of one day.
Yeah.
So that's how these characters, keep affecting each other. Is that like, oh, and then 5 minutes, like the granularity on the timeline is to like every 5 minutes, and then the game is like 10 hours long for them. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you scroll through that thing, it's like, man, this is a ton of scenes for multiple characters. So it's a cool thing.
Awesome.
Cool. It sounds like a nice.
It's on Steam.
Cool.
I will
yeah,
say. If you ever want to check it out, because they could probably. I think it has like 30 reviews on Steam. I think it did like really bad.
Yeah. It did.
They were like banking on that Danganronpa audience to show up, and they didn't.
They did not know.
Dang.
Probably not gonna see Machi or other old weird Toonsoft VNs.
Yeah.
I had almost seen that. I don't know exactly what, but like that this was actually already an adaptation of some other older visual novel they did.
Yeah, that it has similar mechanics, but this is 428 is more refined in how it's handling it.
I wonder if the story has any similarities.
That I wouldn't know. I do know that it uses the same kind of timeline, kind of simultaneous thing.
That's
going
what
on.
I'm thinking of. I think the 1998 Saturn one.
Oh man, Carmichael says it has 69 reviews.
Nice
on Steam.
Nice, but not really.
Not nice.
Yeah.
Not nice for once.
It says very positive.
It's very positive.
I think you have to have like a certain number, like 500, to get overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
And then I think they have to be all within a certain time period, or it'll decay back to it. Steam's weird.
Yeah.
Steam sucks.
No, we're not getting into that.
Oh Lord.
How did they get 428 into Shibuya? I can see she, but I don't see the boo and ya for 2 and 8.
I don't know Japanese, so. Oh, and the game takes place April 28th, because of course.
Of course.
It's Shibuya Day.
Oh.
Yeah, the game being $50 did not help it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, given that it is pretty old, even if they did kind of put in the time and the effort to make this new version, people they love pointing out when games are old. And that'll definitely
But it's
play
like this
against
doesn't feel like an old game. One, because it's like an HD re-release. Like it doesn't look like, oh, it's an upscaled Wii game. It just looks like, oh, this is a new game with good assets.
Yeah.
And
it's
never came out in English. Like in Japan, they might be like, oh, I played that 10 years ago. For us, it's like, oh, it's brand new.
And it's a weird fucking name. That'll get you.
I mean, it's a
sometimes,
weird
too.
fucking game. If we're being totally honest,
It's a weird fucking game. It's got a weird name. That'll play against it too. So is that everything then?
Yeah, that's everything.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So hey everybody, if y'all are fans of long form articles about video games, you might want to tune into the site on Tuesday. Because there might be something there for you on the main page. So, hint, hint.
An update?
Gasp! Right? Something that's not a podcast that is going to be an update on that site. Fucking weird. Alright, so thanks again everybody for coming out, spending your Sunday evening with us. We appreciate it as always. Thanks, of course, for the bits and the subs and resubs as well. Y'all are lovely. Love the hell out of y'all. John Thayer, where can we find you?
farawaytimes.itch.io.
Ritz, where can we find you?
We're inconsequentialexistence.com, I think.
Still not updated.
No, unlike you, I don't update.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Gasp.
And Sayara, where in the world can everybody in internet land find you?
Well, if you go to your kitchen and you open the trash can in there, you might find my you might find me in there.
That's confirmed.
Yes, but I have a website, jziadi.net. It's not updated very much. Or Twitter is TEINKURU at ericsjoystick.twitch.com.
You spelled your own Twitter handle wrong. That's good.
Did I really?
Yeah, you said RU. It's an LU.
Fuck me. I'm tired.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. And you can find me at my dumb website. And remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We're the only ones that love you. All right. Everybody, stick around. Is After 5 still around here, or is he streaming? If After 5 is around here and he wants to go live with his Phantasy Star 4 stream, let's see here.
I think he might have pieced out already.
Yeah, I think he did.
I guess this is your chance to
got scared off by the sound talk.
Yep. All right, well, I'm just going to toss you all off to somebody then. Let's see. What do we got going?
I Ate Your Pie is playing Mario Party if you want to see suffering.
Oh god, yeah, they're doing super hard mode too. It's oh god, it's misery. Let's see. Oh shit, I thought L Rock was streaming, but he's not either. You know what? Everybody sucks tonight.
Damn.
Nah, I'll toss you all over to I Ate Your Pie if you like some Mario Party suffering. Be sure to stick around. We will catch you folks in a couple of weeks. More than likely. Oh, dang.
That's not an April Fool's joke either.
That's not an April Fool's joke. Later, y'all.
Bye.